Champions. How are we? What's happening? It's a lovely day here, as you can see. The days are getting longer. We've got some sunlight now, which is fantastic. Be a beautiful day if it wasn't so freaking windy. We're all talking about weather because we're old men. That's what we do. What's going on? Just getting my shit together still. So, little bit of camera nerd time. Yeah, very windy. Let's get ready to rumble. There you go, Tanner. Hi, everyone. Hi, Mum. Hi, Dad. Mark, Robbie, Coldacre, Victor, Ken, Dustin, Juan, Darren, Lou, aka Chris, Andrew, how you going? Daniel, Greg, how you going, mate? Yeah, it'd be windy out your way, wouldn't it? Did you see any snow out there? Just got to get my job sheets out too. All 5,000 of them. That's guitars, instruments. I've got two clipboards. One's like electronics and one's instruments. Then I've got two notepads. One's the one that's almost full, and then the fresh one. So I'm carrying around two clipboards and two notepads, going old school. And that is always in my bag, and that's why it's always freaking heavy. Carrying around an encyclopedia with me everywhere I go. Okay, a few of them I've already assessed. I think it's going to be a bit of juggling paperwork today as well. So, I've got some new lenses. Just kind of cheapies, middle of the roads. I got a, not sure how you pronounce it, Miki? That's it anyway. So these are Chinese lenses. They're made for APS-C in terms of the focal length, but they're whatever mount you want. So because I've got my little GX85 here. Oh, hiccups right as I start trying to stream. Um, 35mm for APS-C, which works out to like what's that? It's like multiplied by 1.5, so like 50 something millimeter, 60, 50 something, 58 or something millimeter for micro 4/3 equivalent. But it's cheap. I assumed it would be plastic, but I was willing for the price to get one anyway. And it's all solid metal, champions. And its widest aperture is an insane 0.95. There's the aperture ring. No steps on that. It's just smooth. And being fully manual, there's no electronics in it, which is no autofocus, and the camera doesn't know what aperture or focal length you're on. So you got to tell the camera when you turn it on what the focal length is. Yeah. So you can set it in there, 35mm, and that works with the stabilization. And as you can see down there, it always just says aperture 0 because there's no electronics at all in the lens, which is why it's cheap. But it is a fantastic lens for the money. I think I got it second hand for like $200. But yeah, massive aperture. Huge. You can see it shut down there because it's fully manual. It's pretty cool, isn't it? So I got that for the penny boys, so I can walk around doing street photography. It's a kind of a good focal length for candid photography, so people don't freak out because you've got a camera in their face because you're miles away from them. But you can still take a photo of it's a good portrait lens, but you can still take like candid street photography and still get a blurry background from fucking miles away, which is great. I'll just show you a few little photos if it wants to play nice with Windows. Let's actually, I think I seem to remember for some reason on this computer it doesn't show up on the laptop. So we may have to forego that because I don't feel like playing with settings when yeah, for some reason it was working on the home PC, but it doesn't show up as a drive on this PC, so I'm not sure what the deal is with that. And I'd have to take the grip off to pull the SD card out, so I'm not doing that either. Anyway, so that's for the penny boy. Now I thought, it is a big lens, it's pretty large, and 0.95 is pretty insane. So I ordered another one, which is 1.4 maximum aperture, and it's about half the size. It ends about there, but it's still 35mm. And again, it was same brand, cheap, but fully manual. So when that turns up, Micro Four Thirds is a great system because it's like Lego. You can collect bits and pieces and buy and sell, and everything's compatible with everything. It's so much fun. It's like Lego for adults. So for Sony boy, because I kind of wanted a medium length lens for Sony boy too, so you can take advantage of that beautiful sensor in it when I go to the city and whatever for street photography, for portraiture. I got this one. So this is a Sigma 56mm 1.4 aperture. That is fully auto. There's no end stop or anything to the focus ring like on the other one. So that's all fly-by-wire or whatever they call it. But again, that's 1.4, so pretty wide aperture. 56mm, which is what, 75-ish full frame equivalent. So that'll be a nice little street lens. The minimum focal distance is useless for the workshop. It's like you got to be half a meter away for it to for you to see anything. But another little fantastic lens, and I think the Sigma stuff is probably as good, if not better, than the Sony stuff. Partially because Sony's got a pretty limited range for APS-C, whereas Sigma seems to be picking up the slack. Yeah, a couple of nice little toys there. I'm starting to get back into photography, champions, instead of just videography. Lyle and I have been sharing photos back and forth. Check out his Flickr account if you've got one. I think Six would have a Flickr account. Surely he would. But today we've got, because I'm using the Sony to film my beautiful face. Oh, I've got my circular polarizer on there still. I've got Penny Boy here to take photos of the amps and stuff as I take them apart, and I've got the 12 to 60 on there, Leica. But what I might grab is the Olympus 12 to 40, which is one of my favorite lenses in the whole wide world, partially because it's a macro lens too. You can take photos like with stuff almost touching the lens, the front element. It's not a massive zoom, it's only 12 to 40, but it's got this little clutch ring here, so you can go to manual focus without having to go through menu and press buttons on the camera and shit. And when you pull that in, it's got end stops now, which is awesome. So you know where you're at. And not only that, but in manual, it's taken the fly-by-wire out of the equation. The computer in the camera is not interpreting your movements and then changing the focus. It's actually just locked to the lens element. So you can see shit moving around in there. So yeah, That's my sort of go-to lens despite it. Well, everything from the Olympus Pro series is awesome. If you've got built-in stabilization anyway, this has got stabilization in the lens. So if you've got a camera, say the GH5S that you're looking through above right now, it doesn't have stabilization in the body, so you need the OIS in that if you want any stabilization. That's switchable there. But this does not have that. So what I used to do when I did, before I took the camcorder from the overhead, I used to have this on the G85 before it got sunk in the river, because the G85 has stabilization, and I had this on the GH5S because it has stabilization. So I had stabilization on both cameras, the lens on one and the body on the other. Anyway, you didn't come here for cameras, did you? Sometimes you get some stuff that you probably don't care about on this channel, but anyway, let's put that over there for assessing the amps and whatnot, and catch up on the chat. Have we got people having problems with the thing and the stuff? Lou is struggling a little bit with the old text there, I think. Nay, brag. Thanks for the stream. I think he means, hey, Brad. Magpie swooping not far off, Brad. Yeah. They're pretty fine with you if they know you, believe it or not. They're actually really smart birds. So if you're cool with them, they remember you, and they literally bring down their newborns, their young, as they're fledging, and once they're fledged, and then they introduce them to you. They treat you like part of the family if you're nice to them, but if you're an asshole to them, they'll swoop you. If you're out of your territory and they don't know you, and someone with a bald head has been an asshole to them, then they'll swoop you. But they remember people, and they remember who's cool and who's not. So be good to nature, because it's a bit more intelligent than you think it is. Yeetsy, your JMP 2203 content inspired me to bring out my 79 to a gig on Wednesday. 3 hours performed flawlessly. Well, that's good. Well, it should do. You're an amp tech, bro. Nice beard trim. Thank you. That was, what, 2 weeks ago now? Week ago? I don't know. Outdoor gigs of the 100 watts was ace. Was that through a single quad box or a 4x12 as you Americans call them? Can you believe Sweetwater has been down for going on 8 hours on a 3-day big sales weekend? I asked my SE? So hiring IT engineers that specialise in highly available architecture. Looks like a Takuma clone. Yeah, it does a bit with the what would you call it? The machining to the focus ring. I used to have a Pentax, which I think was made by them. Wish I still had that lens, the 50mm 1.4, I think it was. In this day and age, there's no excuse for your e-commerce site being down for any length of time. Well, you know, I mean, if it's someone like me, I just haven't got time to deal with it. But a company like Sweetwater, yeah. Okay, maybe it might have been a problem at your... Oh, no, it was down for hours. Okay. Sweetwater. They were down at the start of Brad's live stream. I must have fixed it, mate. Macro lenses are game-changing. Yeah, the next one for the Sony, I think, because I don't really have anything that can focus real close on the Sony. So the next lens for the Sony will be some form of macro lens, so I can take photos of all the carnage and the circuit boards real closely. 40mm is a great length. 75 is a little too long for general stuff. So we talking what focal, what sensor size are you talking there, Richard? 40 mil. 40 mil's great for So if you're talking like full frame, 50 mil's considered like sort of natural field of vision, similar to just walking around, navigating through the world. 40 mil's a tiny bit wider, which makes it a bit more handy. You don't have to be as far back. So if you're in like smaller quarters or indoors, you don't have to be miles away. 75 is a little long for general stuff. Yeah, so 75 is generally considered like a portrait lens for full frame. 75 to 90-ish. So you're further back, but it allows you to get the so the distortion is less than if you got a wide angle lens. It narrows people's faces, makes their nose look big and shit. So 75 to 90 allows you to get further back, so you get a more realistic view of the person. And usually they're wider aperture, so you can separate the background a bit with the beautiful blur that iPhones try to copy and look fucking terrible doing. Every time someone uses a background blur, I'm not going to call it AI, it's just a fucking app. The background blur app, or whatever it is, the filter on iPhones and stuff, you know, there'll be like a hair coming off their beard and it's blurred, or their ear will be blurry. It just looks stupid. Richard Morgan, I'll talk camera and photography all day. What riggy you got, Richard? Feel free to blast the chat with all your camera nerdery, guys, by the way. What gear you're running and all that stuff. Your sign's out of focus. Yeah, that's on purpose. If I step away, it'll be in focus. There you go. And there's the famous lamp. I never hear enough about whiskey. I just got a bottle of Talisker 10 yesterday because it was on special for $95. That's a special now, apparently. When I first started buying it, it was like $70. But you know, that was the before times. Actually, it was the during times. Jesse, how you going, legend? Hope all the gear's treating you well. I miss having a nice 100mm macro lens. How you going, Six? Hey, Alex, how are you feeling, mate? How are you? Give us a health update. Health. I'm a full framer. Good man. Full frame's great, but I do love the compactness of Micro Four Thirds and APS-C. Full frame, I feel like, is a little bit intimidating to some people. Like even your average lens is a fucking massive thing, and it looks really serious. If you rock around with a little micro, like no one's stressing out when I'm bringing the G85 into a bar or something. They know I'm just a dickhead, amateur, tourist, dickhead. Said that, didn't I? But if you walk in with like Six's camera, like the A7 IV, is it? A7 IV, you got Six? Beautiful camera, incredible feature set, amazing lens. But it's like this, and you're like, how you going? You feel like you're taking a shot at someone. So it's a bit intimidating. People start asking questions about why you're there and what you're doing, especially gigs. I could sneak that into a gig, no problems, even with a little 12 to 32 on the front. It's going to be shit for zoom level, but if you could smuggle a good lens in too, I don't know. Could I fit a 300mm up my ass? Maybe with some training. What was the thing from The Boys? Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough. On a different subject, beautiful wife just found a job after being laid off in May. Shit. Well, that's good, but yeah. So I should be able to spend some of my allowance on guitar gear again. Good shit, Robbie. Don't go crazy though, mate. In this day and age, you don't need a shitload of gear to make a big impact. Sometimes the less the better, because you don't end up with option paralysis. You just plug it in and you go. I had a melanoma cut out of my back yesterday. Shit, Pete. Light duties meaning no heavy amp lifting, so the tiny terror should be an ideal. Are you still gigging? Fuck, can't hold you back, eh, Pete? Oh, it's good to hear you're on the mend. It's good to hear you got it checked out and caught it in time. It's great. I'm used to 35mm SLR. Yeah, well, that's what I used to run, Victor. I had a Pentax MX, and I was tempted to get like a Spotmatic or something again, just to put a hand into the film Bee's Nest, Hornet's Nest again. But problem is, you get one of those old cameras, and then you got to redo all the light seals, and you got to basically fully take the thing apart and service it. It's a bit like getting an old motorcycle or an old amp. You got to rip the whole thing apart before it's reliable and accurate. It's a little bit like I got a bit of a hard on for some old vintage watches until Lyle sort of pulled my head in and said, yeah, you want to get the ones after the war, because that's when they got a lot more money and accurate and a lot more experience, and the watches before that were a little bit unreliable and a little bit shit, really. My brain has been blurry for years now. I know the feeling there, Mark. This week it's been a whirlwind. It's like every week. Customers coming in or ringing up. Oh, just how's the maintenance going? I'm like, sorry, who are you? What maintenance? What are you talking about? I've got no idea. So I've got to go like dig out the job sheet and figure out what we're even doing, where it is in the queue. Yeah, so it's been and then like that phone call will take 15 minutes, and it takes you 15 minutes just to get your head back into whatever the hell you were doing before that. So, blurry boy I am. Howdy all, wish I could say all is well, but there's always some shit happening here. Yep. Kill Karen, heavily peated. Kill Karen? I've not heard of that. Mr. Nico? Mr. Nico, yeah. I'll have to check that out. I don't mind the Connemara. That's an Irish peated whiskey. There's not many Irish peated ones around, so it's a bit unique. Serious. So Alex says, I think I won't be able to write everything that has happened with my house, to be honest. Yeah, well, you didn't ask for everything. I'm just seeing how you're going. I'll give you a ring later today, man, if you're up for it. There are small full frame cameras, street photography stuff. Also, who fucking cares about cameras at gigs? They love that shit. I've actually got denied entry to a few gigs, 6 with a camera. Yeah, they saw the Micro Four Thirds, even the GH. It was a GH5S at the time with the Lumix lens, that one I just showed before. No, sorry, we can't let you in with that. So I had to fucking go and walk back to the car and put it in there, and before they let me in the gig. But everyone's got a phone in their pocket, and the phones bloody zoom in. It's like, oh, sorry, you can only take shit photos at a gig. You can only take noisy photos. I guess it's possibly because it's some of the higher gigs, like I'm talking still pubs, like it wasn't like at the fucking Hoarding or Acer Arena or something like that. I think what the deal is, there might be contracts with the licensed like photographer that's there, and if you come in with too good a camera, you're sort of stepping on their toes a bit. You might be I don't know, maybe that's just my suspicion. You guys could tell us more, but I have been denied entry to gigs before because the camera looked too serious, and then I go with the little Lumix, and they just think it's a point and shoot, despite it being a pretty powerful camera too. It's not as good as the Sony boy, especially in low light, but it's still an awesome little camera. Hold on now, you can never have too much gear. Well, I think you can, Mark. I have a few customers and acquaintances who are what I would term gear hoarders. So they're not very good players, but they have so much fucking gear. So much gear, and it's all complex stuff. MIDI channel switching, everything's linked to everything. Dry, wet, dry rigs, massive rigs, like tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment. And they don't do anything with it. They sit there, they play a few riffs, and it keeps them happy. And who am I to say? Like, it's not like, car builders are all fucking professional stunt drivers either, I guess. Car collectors and whatever. But to me, it feels like, and then, the next customer will be one of the best guitarists in the world. Barely anyone knows who he is, and he's got a beaten up old Strat and a shitbox Vibrolux that needs a recap, and it's fucked. and the Tolex hanging off it, and the speaker buzzes, but he makes that thing sound like a fucking $1 million, right? I want to get all that gear and give it to that guy. So that's why I feel guilty. I don't want amazing guitars. Like, if I had a beautiful, like, I don't know, 60s Strat or something, I'd get a guilty conscience owning it, because I'm a shit player. I'd want someone that's an amazing player to have that. I'd prefer to just fucking give it to them, you know? Because I feel like we need to really support musicians, because it's a constant assault on their art these days. We've got AI, we've got fucking Netflix that stops everyone from going out, cost of living pressures stops people from going out, bullshit zoning, meaning you put apartments right next to fucking entertainment venues that have been there for 50 years, and then they complain, the NIMBY fucks complain, and then they shut down the venue, or turn it into some fucking pokey-filled family bistro shithole that no one wants to go to, that's got no culture at all, removing any sense of life from your area of the city. So I feel like we need to... that's a bit of a rant. Went on a bit of a tangent there, but I feel like we need to get those amazing instruments into the hands of people who work in the trade, you know? You reckon it's a good idea to buy one of those crab amps? Well, I'm assuming you are asking that question because you saw the video that I put out, so you know the weaknesses, and you know that they're not compliant in terms of the mains wiring. So if you do buy one, keep a very close eye on it and get that stuff sorted out as soon as you can, because if that fails and takes your house out, super pessimistic on my behalf, but you may not get home insurance. So there's no certification going on with them, is what I'm saying. So yeah, buy them at your own risk, get them sorted out as soon as you can. So to Six's first sentence in that point, there are small full frame cameras. So yeah, you've got the new Sony thing, whatever that is. I think not LX, I forget what it is, the number, but yeah, Sony just brought out some full frame body, a little bit like the S9 from Lumix, which is another small body full framer. You've got all the Leica stuff, which is amazing stuff, but extremely expensive. But I do like small bodied cameras for sure. What? Pardon me. Speaking of, how's the bike project going? Hasn't really for the last week or two, because I've been so busy here. Just give me a second, champions. I've got hiccups again. All right, we're back. Yeah, I'm hoping to get the bike started this weekend, but I've got like 3 or 4 jobs to get done at home now too. So I'm just putting the jobs in front of everything at the moment. I'm literally putting life on hold until I catch up, because this queue is fucking out of control. Robbie F, saving up for my first tube amp? Really? You never had one before? Okay. I wager you will agree that it's not a frivolous purchase. No, it's not a frivolous purchase. But if you're saving up, get something nice. Get something half decent. Get something with good support, and get something that's serviceable. If you want to put in the chat what styles you're playing and what you're planning to do with it in terms of gigging or recording or just playing at home, just tell us what you're doing, what you want to do with it, what you want out of it, and we may be able to suggest some models for you. Playing with my new toy scratch built 5F2. Oh, lovely. 6G10 2x8 combo. Come on, man. 8 inches suck. Get some 10 inches in that bad boy. With 5R4 rectifier and 5881, as well as monster iron for 10 watts of single-ended goodness. 10 watts. Jesus. Well, it sounds like a unique amp there, Pastor. Shoot me some photos of that if you don't mind. I'd love to see that. Smoking the pork tomorrow, as always, Mark. Mark always sends me photos of his meat. Not in that way, champions. Jeez. Glad they caught it early. I lost a childhood friend to it. Yeah, best wishes to a full recovery. Yeah, especially in Australia where we've got such an outdoor and sun-drenched culture here. Well, not me. I'm always in the fucking shop. but others, yeah. It's Killockman, small indie distillery in Isla. Good shit. Oh, it's Killockman. Kilcoman. Something like that. We're shooting the Flow Rider concert tonight. Sucked in, Dylan. Take some earplugs, brother. Put in some earplugs, but get those noise cancelling fuckers and listen to whatever music you like instead of that crap. Rev D20, is that what you're saving for, Robbie? Or is that what you've already got? Oh, no, yeah. So you're suggesting models here. Followed by a Synergy 20 with Fryette Deliverance module. Cool. I have 2 amp TPS wet dry rig with a pair of Zilla. Jesus. Robbie, that's quite the rig there, brother. The Zilla cabs are amazing. Fuck, they look good. It makes me not want to build cabs because they're so fucking nice. It's like, can I beat that? If not, why bother? But I've got to start making some less modern style cabinets. I don't know if you guys have seen. I've got photos somewhere, but I'll just do a desk share of my website. I make these 2x12s, but they're like a modern straight cabinet. But I keep getting questions. People want like a vintage one, but the problem is they want like a one-off design, and you're kind of doing a custom build for someone then. And with a custom one-off build comes custom one-off pricing. So people keep asking for a quote. You send them a quote, then you never hear from them again because they expect production pricing for a one-off build. Let's just desk share this one. So that's the cabs I build. There's sitting with a Ibanez Prestige and a Jet City on top. So that's a laser cut cabinet. We've got little hexagonal cutouts there. My mate cuts those laser fronts. It's like 3mm aluminium. It's 18mm birch ply. That particular one's got 2 vintage 30s in it, and it's got a coating on it called Duratex, which is a roll-on coating. And that way, if you ever chip it or take a chunk out of it or dent it or whatever, you can just epoxy that area, sand it, and then go over it with the Duratex, and it just disappears. You don't have to recover the whole thing like you would with Tolex. However, I've also got glove covers made to suit them as well, so your chances of damaging it are low with one of them. So there's options for casters if you want it in the studio, move it around. And I sell them unloaded, and then you just choose what speakers you want, and I'll put them in for you, and whatever impedance, you know. So they're cool, but they look modern. They don't look like a vintage bit of gear. So some people that are after a more traditional look or an angled front, as soon as you have the angled front, you complicate the baffle quite a bit. You've got to actually cut things on a panel saw to get the angle. You've got to glue stuff up prior in multiple stages. These are really good because you can glue them up in one go. You don't have to really machine anything after they come off the CNC. So they sort of just slot together because they're mortise and tenon join. So I use epoxy glue there. Close back, like sealed back. The back's not removable. So if you want to take the speakers out, you just pop the grill off. There's threaded inserts, so that's got steel threaded inserts, stainless steel screws for the speaker as well as the grill. So I sort of designed them in mind that people will be swapping speakers quite a bit, maybe in the studio, that kind of thing. So threaded inserts mean you don't remount the screw holes each time you change it out. So anyway, Six says, I've never had any issues. Even when I was a pro photographer, I don't give a damn if someone else was there taking shots. I was the one getting paid. Fair enough. I just got denied entry to the bar, so if I wanted to see the band and not go home, I had to put the camera away. So that happened a few times now. So to take photos on concerts, you need a press batch, and you get advised to the set list. Okay, I guess that would apply in some cases. Right now I have two 20-watt hybrids, Orange Dark Micro and Joyo Tweedy. How do they serve you? They're like, well, they're not even Class D. I think they're TDA 2030 output stage or something, like monolithic output chip. Pete Ross, I need a good whiskey in the house. Fucking oath you do. I only got gin and lots of flavoured shit, which is still nice. What kind of whiskey are you after, Pete? I might be able to offer some, some suggestions. Brad's been radicalised. DEP effect. I don't know what that means, Ted. But yeah, props on the Clippy profile pic. I can tell you're a Lewis Rossman fan. Go Brad. Thanks, Darren. Rant away, my friend. Agreed completely. Oh shit, I must be behind on the chat. Holy, it's like a Lyle stream. I'm half an hour behind. As loud as a 5E3, but cleaner in a good way, as in fat, almost clean at gig volumes and sweet overdrive that comes on earlier when negative feedback is defeated. Okay, so is that what you're building? So that's your amp. Okay. As loud as a 5E3, well, I guess it would be. With the 2x8s, you just be a bit limited in the bottom end there, but if you're after that anyway, then sweet. Sweet overdrive comes on earlier when... Yeah, well, it would come on earlier when the negative feedback's defeated. Well, Pastor, if you want to record some samples too, pop a mic in front of it, and you've got a YouTube... Well, I don't know if you've got a channel, but you've got an account. You can put up a video. You've got an upload button just like everyone else. You should put up a little video of it and flick us a link so we can all have a listen. That'd be great. I feel attacked a bit about not being a good player. Well, we have fun. We have fun with it. FX2. Are we talking about that new camera there? 6. Did I miss someone else's comment? FX2? Oh, that's the new Sony. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking of a different camera. It was, let me look it up. Hang on. Full frame compact. RX1R is the one I was thinking of. Oh, hang on. Is that... Oh, yeah, there's the A7C as well, which is their compact full frame. Oh, the RX1R doesn't have a removable lens. I thought it was a removable lens. Oh, they... Holy fuck, $8,000. They're trying to compete with the Leicas, I think. Let me just share the desk. Yeah, this is the one I was thinking of. And that's Australian dollars, $8,000. Full frame compact camera that combines the sleek portable form factor with image quality. AI powered autofocus. Oh, thank God for that. And legendary Zeiss Sonar T35 f2 lens. So $8,000 for a non-removable lens camera? Really? Really? Yeah, it's a fucking Jesus. Okay, so that's the one I was thinking of, but I didn't realize the lens wasn't removable. But yeah, the A7C is a nice camera. That was actually one I was looking at instead of the A6700 if I was going to go full frame. But yeah, $3,000, or 2,600. But then the lenses are expensive too. But that's a nice camera, and it's got the two-tone finish, which I love. But again, it goes back to the expensive gear. It's like having a fucking $10,000 guitar. Would you take it anywhere? Would you really enjoy it? I'd rather have a cheap one that just knocks around with you everywhere, some basher, because that's what the best camera in the world is the one that you've got with you at all times. I read something about motorcycles being dangerous lately. Where was that? Well, they're always dangerous, particularly if you don't wear a helmet. But yeah, I guess you're talking about Brent Hines passing away, like getting hit. He T-boned a car because it didn't yield a stop sign or a yield sign. The Fuji stuff. I keep forgetting about Fuji. Yeah. So what's Fuji? Is that's X mount, isn't it? I haven't. I don't know anything about the Fuji systems, but I don't know. They're just sort of under the radar with me a bit. Don't get me into another System 6. I'm already in 2. Pasty white plus equatorial sun equals melanoma. Yeah, well, that's why I just stay in the safe workshop, eh? You just get mental illnesses in here. I have an original Mesa Mark II C you can have very cheap. What did you get that for again, Alex? It was like $600 or something. What a score. Still overpriced in my opinion because it's a Mesa, but anyway. I got some serious gear once I had stopped gigging and got a serious job. Isn't that ironic, Pastor? When you needed the gear the most, you had the least, and then when you don't need it because you're not gigging and you've got a serious job with a good salary, then you get all the gear. Now I'm poor again in a large countryside house, and life is good. Well, if you're poor, but you're not really poor by the sounds of it. It sounds like you're pretty fucking rich, actually. Will you ship to the US, Alex? Nope, no one's shipping to the US. Sorry, guys. Duritex is typical for PA speakers. Yeah, that was the turbo sound look. I believe EV use it. That pretty much all of them use it, but most of them have like a spackle gun that they spray it on. Very thin, so you can use not much finish to get that same finish, to get that same surface, texture. But with the roller, you actually use quite a bit, and it's pretty thick. But it also means it's more resilient too. You can dent it without chipping it. To answer Brad's questions, I play at home but plan to change that. We'll need to get something smaller than 2x12s. Chatted with Paul from Zilla about a pair of 1x12s. Tariff crap is not helping. Where is Zilla based, actually? I thought they're in the US. Yeah, two 1x12s. 1x12s are great. Problem is they take up the same footprint and you can't really... You can stack them up, but if you're after that stereo effect, you want them spread out a bit. But you can sit them under desks and stuff. That 2x12, that one I just showed you on my website, I've got the exact same thing under the desk now, and that's my test cabinet. Someone out the front. Sometimes I get people rocking up at like 8, expecting me to be open. It's weird. It's all over the web, but anyway. Hybrids have 112AX7 for the preamp, Class D for that. Oh, they are Class D. Really? I thought they were just Class AB monolithic output chip like TDA 2030. I'm pretty sure the micro orange stuff is a TDA 2030 or something. Talking cabs, I played with this band Destronoma before. That's a pretty cool band name. The guitarist makes his own cabs out of wood reclaimed from old zoo enclosures. So it's covered in like monkey piss and stuff. One at the gig was a giraffe enclosure from Taronga Zoo. Fuck, must be a pretty big cab. Buongiorno. How you going, Joe? What's happening, brother? If I spend 8k, I want to use car or an acre of land or a dirt bike or a case of whiskey or something. A fucking pallet of cigars. Camera stuff too expensive? Yeah, it can be. It can be really cheap too, though, Ted. I love the cheap GearFull stuff. That's why I love the Micro Four Thirds. Having said that, a channel which I love, Micro Four Nerds, Emily. Oh, I scratched myself. She made a lot of cheap cameras not so cheap anymore. So she did the old I don't know what you call it, Streisand effect? No. Basically, like the pedal show, right? The Bad Monkey did the Bad Monkey effect. So she's got like the Lumix GM1 or GM5 or whatever it was, which you could buy for like $100, and showed how good it is to have a small, compact, cheap camera. How great it is to just always have one. She calls it a daily carry, and she paints them and shit. She loves it, and of course the value shot up because everyone thought that's so quaint and awesome. I'm going to do the same, and of course with demand comes higher pricing. 8,000, 4,500 for the body, 3,500 for a real nice 35mm. Yeah, checks out. Yeah. Baltic birch ply. Bly. Yeah. Baltic cabs, or birch ply. Baltic birch ply is all I make my cabinets out of, other than the vintage style, or Fender style combos, and the Marshall style heads, which I make out of solid timber because it's a bit lighter. But I think if I'm doing more Marshall cabs, I'll make them out of birch ply as well. The head cabs, I mean, the head shells. I don't mind solid timber cabinets though, because they're very lightweight and very strong. Jesse, I'm pretty sure my oxblood tweed style grill cloth is vibrating and causing a fuzzy sound. Any thoughts on muting it without building a new baffle? It's on a Princeton with a 12. Yeah, you may have to recover it though. What a lot of builders don't do. Who built that, Jesse? Is that a Fender or is that a Achilles or something? What you have to do is what I do. Oh, shit. Have I got a quick way of showing this? You need to suspend the cloth at tension in midair. So the way I do it is I get the baffles CNC machined out of 15mm birch ply, and I pocket out the entirety of the front face 6mm deep. So it ends up being a 9mm baffle with a 6mm like 12 or 20mm lip around the edge. If I'm making a baffle at home out of ply, I'll just buy 9mm ply, and then I'll machine some 6x20mm, 6x15mm cleats out of just solid pine, and I'll glue and staple them around the perimeter of the baffle. So when you tighten the grill cloth, it's not flapping against the face of the baffle. Some amateur builders don't realise this until they've already built the baffle, and then when you play a bassy note, you get the sound of the grill cloth flapping against the front face of the baffle. If all you've got's a circle cut out, it's flapping around against the edge of that. So you need to suspend the grill in midair. Now, if your grill cloth has like a 50mm return on the back, you might be able to have enough length to be able to push it forwards by that 6mm. If you're going to have to remove the staples and remove the grill cloth in order to put the cleats on there. But if you've got enough of a return on the back of the existing grill cloth, you might be able to staple it back on for very minimal cost. So yeah, maybe shoot me an email. I'll have a look at that and see if we can work with it. Or was it a Princeton? I think I might have a spare Princeton baffle floating around, which we might be able to just drop into it, man. Worst case, I can get one machine for you. Fuji made the early Leica digital cameras back in the day. I had one. It cost a bomb, and a phone would shame it now. Yeah, someone was saying. I think I was chatting to Lyle about that. Actually, we've been chatting about cameras quite a bit recently, nerding out. Shell thinks it's very cute when we talk to each other about cameras for half an hour. But yeah, the first one was like a 1 megapixel. Would have been an amazing lens, but yeah, not so much. Panasonic, not Fuji. Oh, Panasonic did it. Well, yeah, there's the link between Panasonic, so Lumix, and Leica, because Leica make all the lenses for Lumix, which is Panasonic. Hi, Lyle, by the way. How you going, legend? Oh, Brad, open up. I know you're in there streaming. What? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. That's happened before. Oh, I figured you're at the shop, so I'll just drop in. Yeah, but I'm fucking streaming. I'm doing something else. Let me just stop the stream to go and fucking chat to you for half an hour about some problem you're having. It happens. This overlooked X is only $100, and now X is $400. It's exactly it, Lyle. It's the bad monkey effect. We'll call it that. All right. That was that pedal, wasn't it? The DOD, the Dodd pedal. I still don't know how you're supposed to say that. I used a photographer on the boardwalk in OC, Orange County. We did tourist photos with cardboard cutouts. We opened at 11. So one morning I came and opened up the roll-up door early because I kept my surfboard there. And when I opened up the door, this woman walked in with her kids. I said, I'm sorry, we don't open till 11. She got mad and said, well, why did you open up then? And I said, because I'm going surfing before work and I keep my board here. Well, I should try that. Why are you open then? I don't give a fuck. What does it say on the door? We're closed. I'm not starting a fucking debate with you. That's what you should have said. That's what I'd say. Lots of excellent Olympus cameras that are pretty affordable. I shoot Olympus for travel and wildlife because the lenses are so versatile. A 300mm lens on micro 4 thirds is like 600. Yeah, well, that's why I love micro 4 thirds, because the lenses are so compact for what you get. Massive. Like this overhead is a 12 to 200. And that's my coffee cup. And that's my coffee cup on drugs. So that's the zoom range. And that camera, that lens is only like that long. At full extension. At short extension, it's that long. So it's smaller than like a wide angle lens on a full frame system. Pretty amazing. It's not a brilliant lens by any means, but it's way better than the that, and the camera body's way better than the camcorder I had on there before. But Olympus stuff is great and it's a bit overlooked, so you can get some bargains there. But the Pro series is all solid metal and it's really nice. I agree with you, Richard. You can overthink cameras for general photography. It's like guitars and amps. Just pick it up and get out there and create shit with any old thing. That's my school of thought. And every time I stray from that, I kick myself in the ass. I go, fuck off. Go out with one camera, one fixed lens, and fucking zoom with your feet. And punk rock. Take a photo of everything. Don't stress about it. Think about it. But get inspired. Don't overanalyze everything, because there's nothing more stifling than overthinking shit. Lyle's already out. He's a busy boy. See you, mate. Lots of amazing images have been created on simple cameras. Damn straight. Bad Monkey sounds like Klon Pass, yeah. I'd sell hot bread to people who knocked on the bakery doors in the middle of the night. Yeah, well, that'd be really nice. Now you've got me thinking about the smell of baking hot bread. Not sure how a tube screamer can sound like a Klon, but okay. Yeah, they're a bit similar. I'm not a fan of either, to be honest. The tube screamer's okay, but it's sort of... Just thinking how to describe it. So it helps an amp get a creamy sort of verge of breakup overdrive, but it doesn't give you that like climax, that peak when you really dig in. It sort of compresses it and chops the top off your pick attack. Whereas when you're playing through a cranked amp, you get that bite when you dig in, and it's very responsive. Whereas I feel like the tube screamer just lops the top off it and makes it a bit less characterful to play. But you also don't deafen yourself and your neighbours, so there is that. I think the only area the sensors are a bit underwhelming is Astro. Yeah, that's when you start showing up all the weaknesses of any camera. There's no substitute for f1.8 or full frame to let in a lot of light. And then when you're at those real open apertures, no matter what the lens, you compromise a bit of sharpness too, but you need to let that light in quick enough that the movement of the stars on our flat rotating Earth doesn't blur it, you know. So you need a relatively quick shutter speed, but you need a lot of light. That's for sure. I've seen those rigs where they have a stabilizer set stationary to the universe, so you can have long exposure and the camera's moving, but it's moving tracking the stars, so you can have smaller apertures for sharper image, but you can also have long exposure without the movement coming into play. But yeah, we're talking big bickies to get that kind of rig. OD1 or SD1 for me. You know, I don't think I've ever played through an SD1. I've had a few OD1s in and they're okay, but nothing beats an amp, mate. Maxon is an OEM like Gaiatone. Yeah, I sell Maxon stuff here. Oh, nothing like a delivery van full of hot, steamy breads. Steams up the windows. My brain is imagining what that smells like, and I can almost smell it now. If I don't get the sound I want from my amp, I just drink more beer and turn it up. True. So we've caught up on the chat champions, so it's time to get to work. Jesus, that almost took an hour. Alright, this one came in. With reports of stuff. Now we all know these like to cook themselves. I'll just get the job sheet out and see what the actual description was. Oh, there's so many jobs, champions, so many jobs. Oh, it's got to do invoicing too, shit. There's stuff here that I've done that I haven't invoiced because I haven't had time to. So they don't even know it's ready. PV, oh, you're chasing... Holy fuck, was that in March? Okay. PSL 401. Last remembered, lights on but no signal. Not used for years since. Okay, so it didn't work last time. Lights are on but no one's home. And then it got put away for 5 years minimum. So that's, to the best of his recollection, what the issue was. So what we can do is just power it up, see if there's any change in the power draw from the wall when we take it out of standby. I mean, that's what they did, so it's not like we're going to fuck it any harder. It's probably just got a blown HT fuse, which I can inspect. No need to power it up because it's rear accessible. That's intact. What appears to be. What's the rating? They never have the current facing outwards. For T400. T400? 400 milliamp. Looks like a 400 milliamp, but it's weird that it doesn't say milliamp. Here's my multimeter. Come on, Flukey boy. Get over here and get angry. Continuity! Alright, so the plot thickens. What we assume was a bad valve. May not be. Just trying to see in there. Let's just do a quick little symptom check. There's a possibility that maybe misremembering things. Coming down to 60 watts, 50. So these are JCM 2000s, but they have a different circuit board and they don't seem to leak like the 150 watt heads and the 60 watt heads and combos. They do fry the fuck out of the board, however, because they've got EL84s, and for some reason all the manufacturers think that they should be run at like 160%. I don't know why. I don't know who told them that. You should run them at like 300 volts over the rating. Well, not 300, I'm exaggerating, but like 100 or 200 volts over the plate voltage rating. Now, someone called me up on that and said, oh, that's just like a guide on the spreadsheet, on the data sheets, and they're actually rated for 500 volts or something. I'm like, I don't know. I have seen them fail quite often with those kind of voltages, and to me, a data sheet's a data sheet. And you know, if it says absolute maximum 300 volts and they're running at 450, what do you think's going to happen? But yeah, maybe back in the day they were at that, but these days the current production ones can't handle that shit. Alright. And we're going up to 90 watts when powered up. We are hearing a change in the noise level. There's a slight amount of hum increasing when we turn it on. So we might have a problem in the phase inverter or something. Let's find out. But the HT is operating, and it seems to be producing signal, at least from the output stage. Let's get the signal generator out and distort the fuck out of the mic. Sounds like it works to me. Mute my mic for a sec because you're just going to get smashed for distortion. Alright, so it appears everything's working fine, but scratchy operation of any amp that's been sitting for a long time without use, but I think it's fine, champions. So I might just quote a service on that. We'll have a quick look at the board and just there's probably going to be circuit board stuff, solder joints that are heat damaged and stuff like they all have on this model around the output valve sockets in particular. So we'll have a quick look, but yeah. Looks like it's a very viable repair. These are actually pretty cool little amps. I don't mind them. Once you sort out the heat issues, I've had a few customers that have had them for fucking like 10 years after I serviced them with no further issues once you sort those problems out. They're nice little good sized combos. I guess this is sort of what the DSL-40 series is trying to emulate, and sort of the new version of, with its conductive glue and lack of margins on the circuit board causing arcing. Yay, Marshall. But, you know, if I was to flag such issues, I'd be told that I just shit on all amps. So, you know, you're not allowed to, as a fault finder, how silly of me to think that I should find faults. People. Brad, your opinion on the new Boss pedal? I don't know. I've just seen memes about it. I couldn't give a shit, frankly. Or just artificial outrage that the manufacturer probably is perpetuating in order to get free advertising. I don't fuck around with pedals. What am I, some kind of pleb? Use amps, bro. I need to find a girlfriend who's hard of hearing. Well, it depends what you're asking. Sometimes they all are, Victor. I'm lucky beautiful wife can sleep through anything, and my twins inherited that trait from her, so I can practice every morning 4 to 6. Fuck yeah. My neighbours have a long-suffering, extremely loud shit playing. Oh, hang on. My neighbours have long suffered my extremely loud and shit playing with a little complaint. I count myself lucky they don't mind me cranking the amps and letting it rip. That works. Now you can have 2 amp with it with EL84. I live in a converted barn and local horses never complain. You seen that video of the cows in the field? There's like a jazz band on a tour and they stop for a piss or something, and there's all these cows and they start playing jazz to the cows, and all the cows, because cows are very curious, they're like big cats, so they all gathered around to watch the I think it was like a trombone or a trumpet and a clarinet from memory, and all the cows gathered around to watch their little free gig. I either play guitar loud or just play it unplugged, or get on the acoustic. It's like listening to music. It comes alive at certain volumes. Yeah, totally. I'm back. Oh, thank fuck for that, Andy. We can continue, everyone. Andy's back. Yeah, subscription model. So from what I gather, that pedal's like a DSP, and you can buy fucking what model you want on a subscription basis. That's the way everyone's going, because no one can... Everyone wants infinite growth, and if you want infinite growth, you have to figure out how to do nothing and still get paid for it. If people want it, they can buy it. If people want it repaired, they can get fucked. It seems like a bit of a meme pedal. Just like to pull the little screw cups out. That way they don't fall out on the floor somewhere while the cabinet's in storage. Still need a pedal for reverb and delay, if you're into that. I'll probably just get a one of the cheap modeler pedals like the Mua or the Ampero, and run it in the effects loop without any modeling. That's probably what I'd do, because they're cheap and they're so versatile. And then if you did want to play silently, you've got the modeler there as well. It's handy for writing down song ideas too, recording song ideas. You just got the modeler ready to go. You don't have to fire up the amp and mic it and cause a ruckus. You can just quickly track a riff or a song idea without stuffing around. I've been ignored by Boss for years, just trying to get a replacement level potentiometer for a pedal I bought new in 1986. It's probably just a generic pot, man. It's just might be a bit of Google foo required to... The only pots that are crazy in those things are the ones with the weird detents, like the DD3 and, well, the digital delay pedals. What you think is a switch on them is actually a potentiometer with like 4 detents. And the resistance at those detents is sort of interpreted by the microprocessor, and then it switches between modes, so it's not actually a switch. They're unobtainium unless you get them from Roland, and in Roland Australia I've ordered them and they've sent them out, and I've had them within a day or two. But if it's just a pot, I'll just enter the parameters into mouse or a DigiKey or whatever, element 14, and just see if I can get something that's close. Boss only sells parts to authorised repair centres. Well, I'm not authorised, but they still sell me parts. Maybe they like me. A fucking HM2. It's very proprietary in its sizing. HM2. Have I got an HM2 here? I think I do. Or did I sell that? I think I sold it to someone. Oh no, still here. Yeah, HM2. Alright, tell me what's so special about the pot. Which pot is it? What the fuck do you want to fix that HM2 for? This thing comes with the original box, is fucking mint. And it's an ACA pedal, so it's an old, it's a Taiwanese one, but it's still an older type. So which pot is it? Ooh, sticky. 12mm, yeah, that's what I'm saying. 12mm pot's easily available. Is it? So it'll be this generation, because this is an ACA adapter, so this is an older one. All right, we'll go on a tangent. Need some more light here. The amp's soaking up too much light. Yeah, but which control? Which control do you need to... It's the level. Okay, right. Brad parts out his HM2 for $300. Yeah, you can have this one if you want. I hope you're not in the US because I can't ship it to you. So this one I've bypassed the resistor there, so it's set up for 9 volts. Oh, that's a pain in the ass. Got to remove the board. $12mm pots. And they've got the reinforcement thing on them. I'm not taking that apart, but too hard. You'll figure it out, mate. Yeah, try small bear. Oh, help if I put the insulator back in, eh? Try small bear, they're good for that kind of shit. But you might be able to bastardize it and make a tiny little pot fit. Love them. Love the live stream for all the side quests we all seem to go on. Yeah, bloody oath, mate. We're about 60 kilometers southeast of Angelholm. There are no revisions to the HM2. They all use the same boards. Oh, okay. The only difference is the ones using the PSA supply bypass the dies. Yeah. Cool. So there was just the one. Righto. They're fucking horrible pedals, but horrible in a kind of cool way. The Swedish Chainsaw Champions for death metal. And you know the setting? Everything all the way up. That's the Swedish chainsaw tone, they call it. All the 90s death metal albums use that setting. And I know you guys love 90s death metal. Split shafts are serious business. Biznatch. I love Six and his encyclopedic knowledge. It's like, oh yeah, that one had this revision then, and I'm like, what? This is why he's often my first port of call when I want to know the history about something, because Six is a fucking encyclopedia of music tech. Oh, come on, champ. Come on, champ. Stuck on the Tolex, aren't you? Can't have it easy, champions. Can't have it easy. Have we got a cage nut? Cage the elephant? Cage nut stuck on the Tolex. Ooh. Looking inside, it's remarkably clean, this one, and there's no burns. Maybe the bias has already been sorted on this one. Huh. She's a little choocher. Be nice if I could get the fucking chassis out, though. What is that jammed on? It's locked tight. What the fuck? Fucking cage nuts, man. They dig into the Tolex and they try to rip it to shreds. Do rip it to shreds. Fuck's sake. Fuck, I hate cage nuts. Threaded inserts. I have to glue the Tolex back on now because I've destroyed it. So annoying. How the fuck am I supposed to get that back in? Already got the shits. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, where were we before that shit show? Ooh, we do have a bit of a burn there, which may be the problem once the amp warms up. So, same old story, don't fuse your heaters, because that happens. So we're going to have to pull a board to sort that out. That's actually, it looks like the fuse has gotten really hot, but thermally not from excessive current. But see the discoloration there, even on the fuse element, from the tips getting so hot. I couldn't think of a joke, whatever. But normally you've got like this whole area around the EL. You can see the bank of 4 valves there, the EL 84s. Normally that's all discoloured too, but in this case it's remarkably unburned. So I think we can sort out that fuse issue. Check the BIOS on that. The caps aren't bulgy. It's got that stupid hot melt glue that does fuck all from the factory, so we might silicone those nearby caps together just to avoid any future issues there. But we'll inspect the board for dry solder joints and stuff where we've got it out, and general service. Make sure it's not biased too hot. Upgrade the screen grid resistors. What have we got there? 100 ohm, yep. 100 ohm. So we'll take them up to 1.5k or even 2.2k. Protect the EL84 little chooches, but it looks like this is a very low hours amp. So very viable for a bit of a preventative maintenance and just a general service. I'll flick a quote for that this afternoon, tonight. Finally got a bit of a known factor job. It'd be good if there was more of them, eh? Right, so this one, I've been telling this guy, stop taking the amps apart. Stop trying to fix them. Just bring them here. Because I'm going to stop accepting them if you keep trying to fix them yourself and damaging them further. But he said it's got a bad transformer. Ashdown something or other. Woodsman acoustic amp. Said it's got a bad transformer. So he said, I've got this transformer. I said, is that the transformer for that amp? And he sort of looked at me like, it's just a transformer. Why can't you just use a transformer? I had to explain that there's lots of different parameters with transformers, and it may or may not be suitable, and the chances of it just random transformer being suitable for that amp's pretty much zero, or less than zero. So A, I don't even know if it's the transformer. B, I don't know what he's done to it and if it's recoverable. C, I don't know if that transformer's suitable. And D, probably don't want to work on it anyway because it's a cheap Ashdown, and Ashdown are barely worth working on even in the best of cases. Ashdown are pretty shit champions. Sorry. The build quality's just not there. Come on. Oh, there's one more screw into the chassis. But I don't think that's what's holding us back. It's just jammed in there. Yep. Okay, so the transformer looks similar. 2x24, 2x24, 50 watt, 1.5 amp. Okay, so it looks like it might be a suitable transformer. It looks a bit smaller though. So that's 7 volts. No, okay, so it's got different, yeah, it's got multiple taps, so this is no good. It's got a 7 volt tap. 7 volt tap at half an amp, and it's got two 24 volt taps at 1.5 amp. So yeah, that's no good. And the chances of getting, when you got multiple taps on the transformer, your chances of getting it like an OEM one reduces pretty quickly to 0. But we don't know that the transformer's at fault just yet, so what makes him think it's a transformer? Generally, the transformer fault will manifest itself as just blowing a fuse straight away, because you'll have shorted windings. Or it'll be open circuit, because of the internal thermal fuse. Fuse is okay, and it's rating. I'm getting itchy again. Someone's got cats or something, and I've touched their amp. 3.15, and the fuse is supposed to be 240 volt 1 amp, or 250 volt 1 amp, and he's got a 3.15 amp in there. So that's a surefire way to blow up a transformer. So yeah, could have a bad transformer. If it does, I won't be accepting this job because it's not worth it. Just disconnect some secondaries there and just check for continuity. Continuity. Alright, we've got 0.7 ohms on the 7 volt winding, so that's probably supplying relays and stuff. There's no valve on it, so it's not supplying the heaters. No relays? What does it need another tap for? Oh, there's a digital board on there for reverb. There's a little daughter board. I didn't see it because it's standing upright, so that'd be deriving 5 volts for that probably. Oh, 10k on one side of the secondary, 10k on the other to ground. So that seems weird. I need bendy probes. I need fucking light. That's what I need. .8 ohms, 8.7 ohms. So the secondaries have continuity. What about the primary? We've got the active. Primary has continuity. So, from a passive point of view, everything should work, but we may have shorter turns. So let's give it some with the Variac and see what happens. If the current shoots up rapidly, we'll know we've got a bad transformer. There could be a replacement viable for this for some other model, but yeah, you're talking pretty rapidly uneconomically viable. There's cross-threaded jacks there. Is there a power button? Oh yeah, it's on the back. I just flicked it on, you dumbass. Alright, we're drawing 5.7 watts. 5.86, 7, 9. So I don't think we've got a short. Waiting for a bang. Let's give it some signal. Yeah, Valco. This is pretty old, Lyle. I don't think it's not a current model. Instrument input. Let's set everything at 12 o'clock. We'll give it some signal. Notch out. Reverb out. It's very dirty, dusty. I'm getting itchy just looking at it. Phantom power off. Passive active. I don't know which one that is. Give it 1 kilohertz at 400 millivolts peak to peak. Output active. Give it some voltage. And we got nothing. I'm drawing about the voltage I would expect though. Try the other input. Oh, there's a tip jammed in there. Okay, so we need a new jack. Let's go in the auxiliary return. Nothing. Just check that everything's plugged in how it should be, because sometimes if people have taken stuff apart, they can maybe forget to plug something back in. We're drawing about 17 watts from the wall, 18 watts, so that's about what you'd expect. But we're seeing nothing at all from the output. No hiss or anything. Let's give it a quick look, just because this guy did put a massive job through the shop recently, so, and he didn't try and bargain, or he wasn't a pain. He just he's a good customer is what I'm saying. So so we'll have a quick look and see if we can rapidly diagnose this little choo-choo as cheap and nasty as it seems to be. Alright, so we've got parallel speakers. Just check the resistance across them. You'd imagine okay. 0.6 meg. We literally just have 2 blown speakers. 0.6 meg. 3 blown speakers. Really? Alright, let's that's soldered, that's annoying. Let's attach a socket to the PCB and plug it into our underbench ones. We'll check that there's no DC offset first. Whenever you have a whole bunch of blown speakers, it's always good to check there's no DC offset. The other thing that can happen with speakers that are right on the edge, their power capability, and you've got 2 in parallel, as soon as one blows, then the other, well, you'll have more impedance, but if they're right on the verge power-wise, which Ashdown are known for doing, they put a peak power rating on their sticker, and then you take it off and the RMS rating's like a third of what they're quoting. When one blows, the other speaker then cops the whole brunt of it, and it can fail rapidly as well. But like I say, generally the impedance increases, because when it's in parallel, you've got essentially half the impedance, so your power goes down because the output stage is dealing with a different impedance. Why can't I plug that on? It's the wrong size, that's why. It's an 8mm spade. I thought it was a 6.3. Do have some 8mm here. There we go. Polarity doesn't matter. Everything's relative, champions. For the purpose of testing, anyway. Alright, just stick in my test cap. I'm starting to do that old man thing here, when you lean over. So I'm happy to give that full mains, even though it's got a 3 amp fuse in it. Right, now we're going to scare the fuck out of ourselves with a 1 kilohertz sine wave, so let's turn that down a bit. What is a DC offset? Well, it's a DC voltage on the speaker cables, usually caused by a failed output device or a failed device upstream, causing a DC voltage to be present on the speaker terminals as well as the AC signal, or just a DC voltage which will burn your speakers out. There can be a small offset and you don't even notice. It might manifest itself as a bit of a thump when you turn the amp on or off. If you've got it depends on the output stage design. So if a well-designed output stage cancels out that offset with negative feedback, and some older amps have a trim pot to adjust the DC offset, compensate for it. But more modern amp designs self-center, I guess you could say. But if you've got a failed component upstream, the FM series from Fender is common with that. The FM212, the 2x12 solid state thing. There's like a FET or something that fails upstream and causes an offset. And because from that point on it's DC coupled, there's no coupling capacitors. The output stage is perfectly happy in a perfectly healthy state to amplify that DC. And the like 1.5 volt offset upstream gets amplified to like a 16 volt DC across your speakers, and then it burns the speakers out, all because of a tiny little TO92 transistor upstream. You can have things like shorted capacitors in the negative feedback loop that drag it to one rail or the other. You can have a bad preamp supply. So you've got your output, say your output stage is powered by like plus minus 45 volts or something. Your preamp will be plus minus 15 volts, but if one of those rails goes out of tolerance or fails entirely, then all the op amps swing to the other rail. So then your whole signal, as long as it's DC coupled, so no coupling capacitors, will go to the output stage as 15 volts. So, yeah, not good. Anyway. So we've got to replace that jack because there's a jack tip in it. We can see if we can get it out, but it feels a bit crunchy, like it's already been damaged. We've got signal going in, power on. Drawing 15 watts from the wall, and I'll just measure the DC on those speaker terminals and try not to short anything out. .00. All right, let's Plug in the speaker. We've got signal. Sounds like a pretty healthy signal. I can hear some reverb there as well. So, 2 blown 8-inch speakers. And 1 blown, looks like 2-inch tweeter. Alright, that works. As for the mic, we can test the Canon input, the XLR input, because it's the jack tip that's snapped off in the center of that. I'll just steal my SM57 from down here on the cab, mess up my mic position again, like I do every other day. I should have a 58 here at the bench just for testing stuff like this. I've got one nearby somewhere. I think one of my customers got stung by fake SM58s because they all failed. Is this going to feed back? Yeah, probably. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, yeah? Hey, yeah? It's very quiet. Hey, yeah? Hey, yeah? Hey, yeah? Testing, 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 hey, yeah? Hey, yeah? Going back to my sound days. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Sibilance, sibilance, sibilance. Testing the front of the house. Right, so everything works. So we don't need a new transformer. Please stop diagnosing your own amps. Please just bring it here. Anyway, I'll just quote up some cheapy replacement speakers for that. Considering everything's working in the front end. I'll see if I can fish that jack tip out. What you can actually do, and I've done it before, you get a bit of bus wire and you heat it up with a soldering iron. And then you poke it in, because the tip of the jack has a little plastic insulator in it. The bus wire melts into that bit of nylon, and just hold it there for a second until it cools, and then you can sometimes pull that out, put a few scores in the bus wires so it's got some like barbs to hang on to, and you can take it out without removing the board. So that's kind of what we're going to aim for this one. Yeah, another one diagnosed. Good shit. It's never the transformer. It's never lupus. Yeah, but sometimes it's never lupus until it is. My ex has had lupus. I had to sit at the cancer ward with her and get treatments. It was kind of depressing. That's a Dr. House reference there, by the way, champions. Hugh Laurie, what a legend. Love Hugh Laurie. Don't replace the tweet. Yeah. Yeah, if I did, I'd probably put a cheapy piezo in there. Just something horrible sounding. Just so that Ashdown doesn't get credit for sounding good. But yeah, what I'd probably do, Lyle, is from Wes Components, they've got Daiichi speakers, which are cheap as shit. And they have a dual cone one, you know, with a, what do you call them? A whizzer cone that works like a tweeter. It's just a full range speaker, but they're like 20 bucks each. That'll get him out of trouble. I think they're like 80 watts, so. One more down. 500,000 more to go. Same customer. We've got a Jesus, heavy. This is the one in the profile, in the thumbnail pic. So, he said one of the outputs has failed. Jesus, I've never seen one of these up close before, but basically it looks like it's the rack unit. So that's like a rack mount unit in there. And it's got printing on the front and everything. What the fuck? So I'm unaware of this system. You had one of these, didn't you, Six? Let me catch up on the chat. Hang on. Charging for a Transformer 2, it's a special learning tax. I would like to, but we've got video evidence now. Live stream to the world. Still don't understand how acoustic amps ever really took off. Well, they kind of didn't, no. Because if you're serious, you're going to have a PA. And a PA is like king of acoustic amps. No compromise. Acoustic amps to me are just like for practicing, or like house parties, maybe, if you want to ruin a party by playing guitar at it. Or like the local fairs where they have like buskers and stuff. But even then, they all want cordless ones, and the ones with the batteries built in are pretty shit, except for Fishman. The Fishman ones are good, and Fishman are a fantastic company. I'm gonna start selling Fishman here soon. They replace a board like no questions asked. They just send you a new board. That's fucking great. The board's like $50. They're a very good company, and I would be proud to sell their products. And they sound very good, and they're very feature packed and well designed. Oh, now I'm getting hay fever from cat fur and amps. Excuse me. Okay, just catching up. There were some Buddha amps selling on PV eBay? What's PV eBay? That had hand-tooled saddle leather covers. Ugh. Does it have a headphone jack? Yeah, I think it had one on the back, ironically. It's called a Woodman. I bet that took a few meetings to come up with. Yeah. Guitars are made from wood, and men play them. Let's call it a woodsman. Double cut offset. DC offset, yeah. Don't connect your Mustang to a speaker either. Dope thumbnail photo. Thank you. That was taken with the 56mm Sigma that I nerded out on earlier today. 8-inch for guitar, that's just sad. Yeah, it works. It depends on the EQ, Ted. 8-inch drivers can be fucking amazing. Like, got this speaker up. I just ordered another one, the DB Technologies BH8. Man, that thing packs a punch for an 8-inch driver. It's crazy. And then Pastor's defending the 2x8 that he because he just built one. It's your time to shine, Pastor. Yeah, thanks, House. Fuck, man. Okay, yeah, we're back there. Daughter has lupus and it sucks much worse than the RA that I have. What's RA? I combined an 8-inch ceramic hemp cone with a WGS G8A Alnico. Great pairing. Yeah, I guess the hemp cone would put a bit of a warmer, toned down thing. I've got to go now as I'm not feeling the best, but I'll speak to you later, Brad. Yeah, I'll send you a message, Alex, see if you're up to a chat later on, mate. I don't want to pressure you or anything, but yeah, I just want to check on you. Dr. Gear, just don't ask him for his opinions on trans people. Who are you talking about? Oh, Jesus. My mum died from lupus complications more than 30 years ago. Sorry to hear that, Pastor. It is a serious thing. I love the G system. Used one for years. Bought it brand new. Literally, you could run over it with a tank. Yeah, it's fucking solid, man. Look at the sides, and it's heavy as shit. That is... Oop. Someone just dropped stuff next door. I just heard a big stack of timber fall over. I know that sound. This is solid cast aluminium. 10 mil thick. Insanely over-engineered. This is cast alley as well. It's been machined. Because there's no line there. It's a solid piece. And it's been machined after the fact. Oh, they're knobs too. Okay, so they're knobs and buttons. Holy fuck, this is interesting. They're knobs here. They're encoders, as well as buttons. These are not, these are just buttons. Now, inside, this rack unit has power outputs to power other pedals. 9-volt DC. USB, MIDI, SPDIF. So, if anyone, I've heard people say this before. Excuse me. I've heard people say SPDIF. Sony Philips digital interface, right? That's a digital audio protocol. USB, expression pedal, volume pedal, switch out. So that's I used to have the TC before TC Electronic became a zombie company owned by fucking Behringer, where all good companies go to die. I used to have a G Major 2. And that had switch outputs, so you could use them to switch the channels on your amp. For each preset, you just say on or off or tip, sleeve, whatever. You could literally switch 2 fucking amp heads at the same time or whatever else. Yeah, very cool, very universal. They're just relays, switching contacts there, so you can use them as a dummy foot switch essentially and switch other gear. Oh, they got inserts, nice. Loop 1, 2, 3, 4, send and return, so you can put in separate effects and integrate them with this. Fucking nerd and a half system, eh? And your instrument input. Now, the G Major 2 had an instrument input on the front and back too, and this one, if we look down inside, can I remove that easily? 4 screws maybe? Where's the cable? How does that interface to that? Oh yeah, there's a cable. Yeah, I think we can just remove this whole front face, but first we'll see if we can recreate the issue. So he said one of the outputs had failed, left or right on the main out, I believe. So let's just have a bit of a plug and see if we can recreate that. Little Marshall, long-suffering Marshall MG10 there on the bench. Processing unit is removable, so you could use it in a rack, and the floorboard could be used by a controller that runs over Ethernet, and there's a tiny patch cable between them now. Wow. Yeah, well, that's what I was about to investigate. Don't most acoustic amps also have a mic in? I think there's a reason. I'm thinking there's a reason for that. Yeah, you sing into it, bro. That one had a mic input. That was what was annoying with the DV Mark 1. It's a cool little unit, but it's got no mic input, so you can't sing through it as well. I have sold a couple of them. It's got an auxiliary, but it is also super tiny as well. So if you're not a singer, it's fine. But for the same price, you can get a Fishman, which has got built-in reverb. Oh, this has got reverb as well, but it's got Bluetooth, got a battery, and a mic input, separate channel. So I'm thinking I'll switch over to the Fishman, and their service records are second to none. Their service experience, really good for parts, is what I'm trying to say. All right, power. We have liftoff. Signal. Oh, the input jack's cross-threaded. The nut. All right, output. Where's the main output? Left. Ow! Crackling. Not good. And we've got signal on the right. We've got nothing but crackling on the left. So we've probably got failed output op amp, something like that. But yeah, we've confirmed his issue. What else can I do? I'll just check for, again, DC offset, which can be an indicator of a failed op amp. Or it could be a failed coupling cap, could be a failed static mitigation diode, like a limiter diode. Could be a whole bunch of shit. Just pop a jack in there. I think these are unbalanced. Just see if there's any voltage across that while we're there. Yeah, 3.1 volts DC. Huh. So we look at the left channel. 3.1 or 3.2 volts DC. And we look at the right channel. 1 millivolt. So, probably a failed op amp in the output stage. Now we know. Add a cat owner checkbox to your intake form. Yeah, another special charge. Man, cats make me so itchy. You know what it is? It's because they lick their fur. Dogs fuck me up if they scratch me or lick me. I end up with like a massive hives. But if I live with the dog for a while, my body gets used to it and it stops happening. And my body just realizes it's not a threat and then just doesn't even react to it anymore. And it's dog specific. So my body reacts literally to the what do you call it? Not hormones. The enzymes in their saliva. So when I'm living with a dog for a while, my body gets used to it, and that dog doesn't. I don't have any allergic reactions at all to that particular dog. But if another dog comes around, I'm allergic to that dog. Literally, my body recognizes a different fucking DNA or some shit. I don't know. But cats, man, just because they lick their fur, their dander and their dried saliva comes off as like a dust, and that shit fucks me up. All right, big Phillips. You know what's really annoying? The chat on the phone with that down button always gets in the way. Cats have toxoplasmosis, makes rats sexually attracted to cat pee. I'll take your word for it, Ted. I have the best autoimmune disease, celiac, yeah, aka gluten. Gives me the shits. Learning to bake without gluten was pretty gnarly, but now I get it. Yeah, gluten-free bread can have a real sort of grainy texture too, like sandy, grainy sort of. Chunk E. Alright, so Ethernet connector, as Six said. Control link. So it's basically one of their processors without the graphic interface. Oh, without the user interface, sorry. Because that's on the pedal. You see down there? It's got a little schematic on the front panel, which is cool. So, there's two jacks. There's two jacks on here too. I'm not sure what they're for. Oh, it says it right there. Expression pedal and volume pedal. Okay, so you can... Maybe there's a bigger version that's got them integrated into the main unit. Or maybe there's like... It's expandable, because really it's just a piece of metal with two pieces of metal. I have to look into the system. I know it's quite a comprehensive system, but this unit here is what we're interested in right now for the repair. So let's get to it. Do I have to take it out? Yeah, I can't get to those screws. Otherwise, weird little stove bolts holding it in there. Almost looks like the customer used them himself. You know those weird ones at the hardware store that no one fucking uses for anything? With the weird little square nuts, and it's got a oversized lock washer in the back there. I think we can We can do better than that, champions. That's becoming my catch cry these days, isn't it? Ah, flathead screw, and it's stripped. Already hit our first hurdle. Feels like that screw's about to snap. I'll just let you look at my sexy watch while I'm doing that. See how subtle the green is? You only see it at certain angles. I'm so in love with that watch. I'm so in love with the one you sent me to, Lyle, and the one that Michelle got me to. But this one, I don't know, it's the honeymoon period. The brain can be rack mounted and the board's separated, connected by Ethernet. Read the damn manual. No! I'm not here to read manuals, I'm here to fix shit. We probably don't even need a schematic to fix this one, champions. There's people that say, oh, you know, it's fucking, oh, it's modern gear, I don't want to work on it, it's too hard. Half the time I don't even download a fucking schematic for them. It just slows you down. Not saying I'm fucking amazing or anything, it's just, you just trace it out in your head and there's voltages where there shouldn't be voltages and away you go. Oh, now my mustache's getting itchy. That's weird. Let me just move this over here. I can see the chat a bit better. The bottom isn't factory. Remove it. The bottom isn't factory. Remove it. Okay. What? You made this metal bit? Really? I'll be damned. It's alright. I've got to get to the end anyway, 6, because the screws are behind the end cheeks. I'll just take the brain out. Seems like the wind's died down. Alright, we're not going to reuse those bolts, but we'll put it aside. Put that jack in the bin because the terminal just fell off it. Yeah, that backs up Six's claim. It just looks really professional. It's cut on a guillotine. It's perfectly sized and it's powder coated, so I assume that was stock. Oh, Panny Boy trying to focus on matte black. Come on, bro. I think I need to change the autofocus pattern. Can I do that? Yep. Autofocus mode. Let's go 225 area. Yeah, that'll do. We had a bit of a laugh when we went to that. I went to a gig with Six the other last weekend, and we tried to get Panny Boy to focus on my hand, like right in front of the camera, and figured out what it's doing right. There's so much, still not focusing. There's so much grain. There's so much noise in the image at low light levels that the autofocus locks onto the noise, thinking it's in focus. Because it's happening in the sensor, it's always, because it's only contrast based, the noise isn't blurry, so it thinks that it's in focus. Good old Penny Boy. Once you've gone for phase detect autofocus, you can't really go back, eh? Oh, I almost need more coffee. I've only got half one left. See you, Andy. Take it easy, champ. You're actually loath, nerds. What the fuck are you doing here? It's a true bypass. Sure. Got a really nice piece of orange roughy at the grocery store today. That's a fish. How'd you cook it, goody? No signal for you. Come back 1 year. I fixed a Boss delay sampler pedal the other day, broken wire. Can't win them all but won that one. Good stuff.
Orange Ruffy didn't sell until I changed the name from Slime Head. Really? You're allergic to all mammals except humans and poodles. Wow. Some humans are poodles. Quite a few years pre-Behringer, I think. These were like 2010. Yeah, something like that. It looks like that. Dog spit is way worse than their hair for me. Yeah, dog would lick my hair, my eyes would itch, and rub them. Yeah, it was all over. I was like that. My face would swell up. I'd get asthma. My eyes would fucking turn into walnuts. What's next? Asking for directions? Yeah, that's right. Sanding with multi-grain bread? What? You trying to trip me out? You can buy a used TCG system for $4.20 Australian here in Denmark. Yeah. I'll be damned. I don't know what they're worth over here. Anyway, if it's just an op amp, shouldn't be too expensive to fix. Probably do have a schematic for these. Amazing that AUD is a valid currency in Denmark. Yeah, valid currency everywhere, mate. What do you mean? I don't know. Do you guys think that this is like some backwater fucking shithole or something? Like, we punch pretty high above our weight in Australia. Don't know if you know. There's not many fucking people here, but in the cities, you could be mistaken for thinking you're in any major city. They're pretty massive. Alright, how does this come apart? We've got a board. We've got four-sided lid. We've got a two-sided base. Let's just undo everything until it falls apart, eh? G systems are about 400, 500 here these days. I've got one in the shop being prepped for sale. Yeah, I thought they'd be worth a bit more than that, but okay. I know my G Major 2 was, I sold that for like 800 or something, but that was a while back. I should have kept that. It had really nice reverb. I would have kept it if I knew TC Electronic was going to turn into shit once Behringer bought them. T8. Fuck, it's like working on a mobile phone. Everyone lives on the coast of Australia. Not everyone. But yeah, the majority in the cities, for sure. Have you seen the centre of Australia? It's pretty hard to live there. You gotta know what you're doing. You can do it, but it becomes a full-time job to survive. I personally can't believe anyone lives in, like, Iceland and shit. Fuck that. It's not compatible with human life. Alright, so having the cross-threaded input jack there, I really hope this guy hasn't tried to fix this one too. He did bring a pedal in, Boss pedal, for repair, and it looked like he tried to solder it with a clothes iron or a blowtorch. So I really hope he stops trying to fix stuff, because he's just doing more damage. I'd say that to his face too. Have you seen a video of wrestler saying best flat white coffee to drink is Melbourne in Australia? Yeah, who was that? That was like an actor, wasn't it? Wrestler? Actor? Yeah, the best coffee is in Australia. The best coffee in the world. I thought that was a well-known fact now. Australia has the best coffee in the world. And it comes from my machine. John Cena, that's it. Yeah, he's an actor as well. Just trying to keep up to date with Chat Champions. What happens if I press the heart? Oh, almost reported someone. Sorry. There we go. I'll put a heart up. Oh, that was amazing. 100%, eh? I don't know what that does. We got a wire pedal in. This, it's behind the heart. Hang on. This week, some idiot installed a DC mod to it and replaced the pot, but they use fucking acid core solder. God damn. That's it. That's a paddling. I'm a plumber, I know how to solder. Well, I showed you, I think, in one of the previous live streams, the Aussie pedal builder guy that used like acid core solder and it ate all the pots away and shit. That's why Japanese coffee is so awful. They're based on the American school of coffee making. Yeah, terrible, awful shit. American coffee's fucked. Half the time you just use Robusta, and that's meant for bloody instant coffee. And even then it's shit. You guys have not had coffee until you come to Australia. I'm telling you that now. Everyone that says they have, particularly when they say, oh yeah, there's really good coffee in France. No, there isn't. Oh, there's good coffee in Germany. No, there fucking isn't. I've been there. I've tried it. There's no good coffee in England. There's no good coffee in Paris. In London. No good coffee in Munich. Okay. Okay. Hey. I have a feeling someone plugged this into a speaker of an amp. Speaker output by accident. Alright, zoom. Come on, Penny boy. See the burn damage there? 1, 2, blown up transistors. 1 blown up, what is that, resistor? This is R253. Yeah, so a blown resistor and two transistors. Being in the output stage, and being that there's a DC offset now, it may have damaged that chip as well. So, because they've exploded themselves, I think I'll have to find a schematic for this. But judging that the other output's working fine, I'd say everything before that stage is okay. So we'll just have to recreate that area. I disagree. Oh, amazing. Me talking about Australia having the best coffee in the world and someone disagrees because they don't live here and they think theirs is the best. Coffee in Australia is an interesting case of rising tides lifting all boats. You can get a good latte in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, true words. Someone's trying to ring me. I'm not open yet. Do you like that song? That's Hiatus Coyote. Hey Ben. I'll call you back when I'm open. Good coffee is getting ungodly expensive. When you say ungodly expensive, how expensive is ungodly expensive? Like, what are you paying for a double shot espresso? We took the best of our Italian and Greek immigrants, combined them together and made a cafe culture that's amazing. Yep. So I'll get a schematic for that. I'll take note of those components, but I know that it's the left channel on the output, so when I get the schematic... Well, what have we got? Q34, Q7. And the traces look recoverable. But something's gone bang, and I think it's because someone plugged something silly into the output, like the output of an amp or something. Yeah, anyway, while we're there, let's have a look at the architecture. So it looks a bit old school. Look at the memory chips there. Got a DSP chip down there, 2 DSP chips. I don't know that brand, that logo. What? Pardon me. We've got a Cypress USB controller over there. You've got an opto coupler for the MIDI. You got a bunch of relays there for, I guess, output switching. Got a combination of through-hole and surface mount components. Have some op amps and stuff down here, which are surface mount, and then some just NE33 5532s in through-hole, which is curious. You'd think they'd make everything surface mount, but whatever. And you've got the firmware over here. They call it firmware because it's hardware and software in the one, so it's firmware. The terms that we are just used to now is like second nature. They are kind of funny when you think about it. Firmware. Well, it's not hardware or software. Oh, well, let's call it firmware. They would have had a good giggle about that, but... Just got to lock in, man. My faves are approaching $18 to $20 per 12 ounce. Are you talking beans or... The drums are out of time. No, they're not. It's just you don't understand the timing that he's playing at. That guy is never out of time. He's an incredible drummer. He's doing it on purpose. Brisket went up $1 a pound. Oh no. Generally need to buy in bulk from a local roaster if you can. Yeah, well, that's what I do. I get half kilogram delivered here. So 500 grams of beans delivered every fortnight. Yeah, that's right. You guys don't know what fortnight means. Every 2 weeks. And it's $18, I think. So $36 a kilogram. And I get half a kilogram every fortnight. And that lasts us we just run out when the new delivery comes in. Coffee should be significantly more expensive than it is. The only reason it costs what it does is dubious labour practices. Yeah, I think a lot of shit should be more expensive than it is. A lot of shit subsidised, and it probably shouldn't be because it's not great for the environment. I remember back in the early 70s, coffee was said to be some of the most expensive items per weight. Really? Compared to what? Enslaved civets poop my beans. Well, this polyrhythm sounds like shit to me in that context then. Yeah, it's a polyrhythm, but oh, all their fans don't care if you think it's shit, and I'm one of them. I love that band. They're touring the US right now. I think they spend most of their time in the US. Fucking traitors. Just get a little bag for those socket. You know what I mean. You little buggy. Civet shit coffee, yeah. Yeah, I'm not really interested in that, so I don't see the draw card, but anyway. Why do they even eat them? I guess they eat the casing, and the beans are no good to them. I guess, I don't know. Alright, so 2 quick diagnoses, that was good. Let's move on to something more interesting. I wouldn't have said anything but you asked. That's alright, Scotty. You know I'm never serious, mate. People get upset thinking because I don't explain every joke that I'm actually upset about stuff. I really get upset about things. I mean, I tell people to get fucked a lot, but that's not me being upset. That's just me telling someone to get fucked. I just picked up a 1 kilogram bag from Alfresco, and it increased by $8 per kilogram. They did pre-advise the increase via email. I don't drink coffee in summer. I used to not drink coffee in summer, but I do now. That's what air conditioning's for. $53 a kilo, Dad. Jesus. That's up there. Consider I'm paying what? I'm paying less than 40 still, I think. I think it just went up to 23 a kilo. It used to be 17, and it was 17 for ages. And eventually they sent out an email saying, "Oh, sorry guys, but we've got to put up the price a bit." And we're like, "Yeah, that's fine. Just go for it. Do what you got to do. Just keep giving me coffee." It's like if your heroin dealer puts the price up by 10%, it's not like you're going to stop buying heroin, is it? It's just being a quitter. Oh, we've got a very interesting amp for you guys. I'm a bit scared about doing it on a live stream though. Why do you think that might be? I've got a few very interesting amps coming up. And I'm a bit afraid to review any of them on a live stream, but I think I will anyway. I'm not complaining about US coffee prices anymore. So 53 Australian is like, what's that? Like $30 American, something like that. I was 50 when I started drinking coffee because I moved to Alaska. I started drinking coffee in high school because I wanted to act grown up and civilized and, you know, cultured. I think there was a chick who drank coffee that I really wanted to impress, so I started drinking coffee too. So anyway, after I fucked up, no, just joking. Okay, 33. Yeah, that's about on par. Lazy J, no, I won't be taking any more Lazy J's. They can sound like shit elsewhere. After I got so much shit from everyone for just being 100% honest with that one I had, I'm never touching another Lazy J again. They can get fucked. Someone else can deal with that shit. Not my fucking circus, not my monkeys. I've started saying no to stuff that I just don't want to do. And people don't know how to deal with that. They, oh, I'll pay what it's worth. I'll pay for your time. I'm like, no, I don't care. You could pay me $1 million. I don't want to. I'm not interested in doing it. I don't even really know why. My body is saying, no, I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to fucking do it. Riff takes Lazy J's. Yeah, and he takes shit for it too. Fucking bullshit the shit he put up in the comments. Chris is an honest dude and he's a legend. And he didn't say anything negative about me. He just showed what was in front of his face and the people attacked him in the comments. They're fucking cult members, man. They're fucking lunatics. I'll see you, Pete. Take it easy, mate. Dad duties are more important than watching a dickhead swear on a live stream, that's for sure. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend, mate. I downed like 3% of the global coffee production in my first year as a teacher. Stopped shaking 3 or 4 years later. Wow. Hate to tell you, Brad, you're getting old. Why? Who said I'm getting old? Well, everyone's getting old. I started drinking coffee in high school, hanging out at my local music shop. They kept offering me coffee until eventually I started drinking it. I need to watch that vid. I do think Chris is a genuine guy. Chris is a genuine guy, and he's a very busy guy, and he's a very good tech, and a very good builder, and that's why he's always very busy. And he puts a lot of effort into his videos. I see his updates and that, and his editing, and they're all like an hour long. Yeah, he's a good egg. He's a beautiful area of his country. His workshop is in too. I got a bit stalkery on him and looked up his address and what it looks like. He's like in the beautiful pastoral bloody countryside, and he's got this mad shed out there. It's a wicked workshop. He's another bloke I'd love to go have a pint with if I get over to the UK, to the Ook. Not going to the fucking USA now. I'll probably go to Canada next year, though. Canada will be great. Do some drugs with my mates. No. Everything's legal over there. Rightio, let's do something very special, champions. And not like short bus tinted window special. But we have, if I can find it, reportedly an amp modified by Paul Rivera himself. Now, I think it's old enough that this number's not valid anymore, so I don't think I'm going to dox them, but... Art Phillips? I did look them up, but I can't remember. Art Phillips, there's his phone number. Serial number. Someone's written notes on there. A756127 1977 model. Alright, so it's got a whole bunch of mods. It's a pedal board, channel switching only. So, input. So there's all sorts of shit going on. I don't know what anything does anymore. There's switches that are unlabeled. There's, let's put it on its ass. Okay. Again, was pretty tempted to not even look at this because I don't like modded amps. You don't know what the fuck you're dealing with. But apparently this was all done by Paul Rivera himself. Reportedly. I've got no evidence. Got no proof for that, but the customer tells me, and he's a pretty well-respected dude and has no reason to bullshit. Multi-position switch. We've got dual concentric pots here. Master gain AB. And a master gain, I don't know. What? Pardon me. Sub to Rift. Anyone else you can recommend? Well, yeah, there's 6. What? Pardon me. Alex. Serious amplification. You got Forgotten Gear Restorations. Frankie Boy. EEV blog, of course. Hi, I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog. Chris Gamble, Contextual Electronics. There's a whole bunch of others. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. You put me on the spot. Frank is the bestest. Yeah, he's a funny fucker too. Uh-oh, time to anger the Rivera Kool-Aid kids. Yeah. But, you know, you look at all this and you're like, oh, Jesus, what are we dealing with? Because, yeah, Lyle. I think a lot of people here probably came here from Lyle, so, yeah. But Lyle's a given. 6 and AUV, yeah. There was Big Clive, sort of electronics, but, you know, more of a chill-out stream, unwind stream. There's Scruff Dog, who's one of Clivo's big mates and partners in crime. So he's like a forklift mechanic, but he does nerdy shit in time off. And just unwind streams, you know, like, you know, smokes weed and puts Lego together. Mendant Mark, yeah, that's another one. I haven't watched a lot of Mendant Mark stuff. But yeah, I probably should. There's only so many hours in the day, champions. I tend not to watch amp stuff when I'm trying to relax. What have we got? Been on half now. 25 minutes. Yeah, head first. Yeah, Dave Freeman. You know, Tone Talk as well. I'm sure you guys are already across Tone Talk, surely. Uncle Doug, yeah. Anyway, so you've seen the front. Vibralux. Now here is the back. Alright, so we've got a bit of ply with two massive cleats, like feel like pallets, pallet gluts. Channel switching switch with electrical tape labeling, which is coming off. It's got two different amps that it's used. So if you're using Fender Vibralux Reverb, you plug into that one. If you're using Music Man RD112, you plug into that one. So what's the difference? Don't know. You got this massive wooden thing here, which has got cables and stuff, foot switch in it. Alright. I've had a repair there to the reverb plug. Reverb or trim? Reverb. People still trying to call me, not open yet, sorry. It's gonna be a fuck day, I can tell already. Shush. Should have put it on Do Not Disturb. Is it an alternate action push switch there? Like a foot switch? Okay. What fuse have we got? No fuse. Ah, that's right. It was blowing fuses. So there's no fuse. We have a 5AR4 rectifier. Two roller Celestian something or others. 10 inches. And we've got a curious looking power resistor there. Variable. You can move that back and forth and tighten it up where you want it. So that is a 10 ohm, 10%, 50 watt. So I'm not sure if that's there to take the brunt if you forget to plug it in or what, but it's weird, a lot of weird shit already, champions. Not looking very promising. I know. Paul Rivera. Don't know. Like I said, there's no evidence or proof that he did any of this. So that wire from the power resistor disappears up into the amp chassis. So when we remove the chassis out, we're going to have to take that resistor with it and figure out if we even want to work on this thing. Because with this amount of mods, all bets are off. And I'm sick of working on modded shit, to be honest. It's got two Mesa valves in it. 6L6s, STR, whatever. Is that amp meant to mount on a 4x4 post for outdoor gigs? I don't know. There's so many weird things already, man. I'm not very keen to do anything to this, to be honest. You've seen all the horror shows I've had recently. They're absolute time sucks, man. You try and be pessimistic on your quote, but no matter how unless you charge them like $5,000, just to even look at the fucking thing, you're pretty much losing your shirt on every job, man. I'm sick of it. Yeah, just not really interested in cleaning up someone else's mess anymore. Brad rocking the 10 kilovolt rated tools. What are these ones? What are they? 10 kilovolt? Don't think so. IEC 6900. I'm not sure what rating they are. Yeah, look, I wouldn't, don't go quoting me on the Rivera thing, because like I said, there's no evidence or proof, but that's what I've been told. That's all I can say. Good for schnitz and giggles at least, yeah. Let's take the bottom cover off because it's got all that crazy shit in it. What's this goal button? What's this goal? 10 super chats. Pick a goal. So it's trying to get me to tell you guys to donate to me. Fuck off, YouTube. Because they get their little cut every time you guys give a donation. So they're trying to get more donations to come in. So they get their little cut as well. Alright. Okay, that's not great. So you got the cord floating around with the plug pushing against the speaker cone. Oh, we've got no screws on the reverb tank, so it's just floating around because it's ripped out of the vinyl. It's sticking to the speaker. So you have a set of Weeha tools there. Yeah, Weeha and Philo is the other one. Over on the guitar bench, it got Philo, which are a good brand, but I've never really seen them anywhere. They were at Masters Home Improvements when they were in play. Philo. They're made in Germany. Where are these made? I can't. Oh yeah, they're made in Germany. Made in Germany too. Weeha! I just like saying it. And Sid Chrome for the sockets. And Draper for the tube sockets, but normally I use King Chrome or Sid Chrome for them as well. Only the best champions. At least give us a gut shot. Yeah, that's the plan. Germany is broke. Really? Is that true? Yeah, so there's the adjustable power resistor. It's got a little slide chucher there. You undo that screw, move it to wherever you want it, and you can vary the resistance. So Celestion G1060s, 8 ohms. So 4 ohm total. Alright, we can take that curious little resistor with us now. Let's get a container. Alrighty. Power soak. Yeah, I think that's what it must be. I think it's probably set to 8 ohms though. So it might be just a safety thing. Like, it'd be a bit weird if it was though. Like, you can just short it out. So Art Phillips. I did look up that name, but I can't remember what I found. German GDP is number 3 in the world. They're A-OK. Yeah, he's saying they're broke. Well, you can have a massive GDP and still be in debt, but it doesn't mean you're broke. Say it's the replacement fuse. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. I've seen silly things in my life. Got 1,000-yard stare. Okay, what's Josh on about? List of countries by GDP. Nominal. Number 1, United States. Number 2, China. Number 3, Germany. Number 14, Australia. See what I'm telling you? We do punch above our weight for the amount of population. Okay, so GDP per capita. Top GDP per capita. Oh, yeah, I guess that'd be like the tax havens, wouldn't it? Okay, so by capita, we are number 11. There you go. Just joshing. I was wrong. Instant fact check. Sorry, we fact check around here. Unlike pretty much everywhere else in the world at the moment. Let's get this cab out of here. I'll slide this thing out. I won't look at the guts until you do, alright? And I'll shut my eyes, and then I'll take my phone and read chat. And you can describe it to me, okay? And tell me what to hope for. I kind of have to look at it, because I need to put it on the blocks. Right, I'll look away. I'll just look at the block. Okay, I'll look at the other block. Can you tell me all the problems? I've got to look at it. Alright, so all original caps that I can see in there so far. Shit going everywhere. Coax all over the shop. Looks like well, it looks like a, yeah, I don't know. I'd have to trace everything out. It's got a death cap, which is fantastic. Let's have a look if that's shorted. No short at normal voltages, but we'll have to take that off. It's got added filtering. It's got a spray glued value down, which is a no-no. It's got silicon on the ceramics. It's got opto couplers installed. It's got all sorts of shit going on. Yeah. Original bias cap. So this probably been done ages ago, like not long after the amp's birth, and just been left as is. So it could be perfectly great, all the mods, but either way it's going to have to be recapped. And I'm just seeing some stuff almost shorting out on other stuff, or actually shorting out on other stuff. Interesting. Oh, we've got another Lee Jackson multiple caps on the treble there thing, mid voice switch. Got all the grounds on the hardware, on the transformer hardware. So many wires, champions. So many wires. Got the active coming in to the ground switch to the fuse tip. That's good. From the fuse ring to the... Holy fuck, the mains is wired correctly. Except for the death cap. That's easy to snip out. Power cord's been changed a few times, I think, because there's a big mound of solder where the safety ground's connected. but no fire. Let's have a look under the can cap. Oh, what's that resistor do? So that resistor... What? So that resistor is literally, yeah, it's just to silence the amp, and it sends all the power to the all the output to the resistor. And you click the switch. Okay, hang on. No, the plot thickens. All right, so how do these switches work again? That one and that one. Okay, yeah. So you're either switching in or out an attenuator with that curious choice of a foot switch on the back panel. I would love to return this back to a stock Fiberlux. I don't think the customer wants to do that. If this doesn't perform well once I've looked at it, I will get the blame for it, even though I'm not allowed to change anything. So it's kind of a non-starter. That's why I don't like working on modified amps. It's got this powdery shit on it from the zinc. What's that, like hexavalent chromium? Gonna give me fucking liver cancer? I don't know. Alright, all original caps losing their shit out the end. Maybe those two sprags have been replaced, but you can see the cauliflower coming out the end of that one in the middle. So it's got to get replaced, it's venting. So yeah, the only thing I really want to do is disconnect the primary, disconnect the secondaries of the power transformer, remove the rectifier, and just check that there's no shorts in the power transformer, and see what's causing this blowing fuse. Identify what's shorted. Could be the valves. Let's give them a quick test. I have to piss off over to the valve tester. It could be the recto as well. It looks visually okay. It's a Sovtech, but you don't know until you go. All right, warm up my pretties. Still warming up. Alrighty, they're coming up to temp. 400 on the plates. Not a bad match. 400 on the plates. We've got 23 milliamp on one, 21 milliamp on the other. Let's push it up to 450. Bring the bias down a bit. We'll go 40 milliamp on one, 35 on the other. So close enough for rock and roll, but no shorter valves there. They'll probably be fine, providing they don't have any appreciable microphonics. So I don't know. I think I'll have a think about this and make a decision if I even want to go down the rabbit hole on it, because if we don't have permission to change anything and it's not performing as it should, then we're sort of, what do? You don't have power to do anything, but we've got to fix it, but we can't change anything. So you know, that's part of the reason I don't like working on modded stuff. You're sort of crippled from the get-go. And it's 110 volt or 120 volt, whatever. What do we want to do next? All right, let's do something else that I don't really want to do on stream, but I'm going to anyway. I don't know if you guys have heard of Roller, not the speaker manufacturer. But there's a guy in South Australia who goes by the business name Roller, and he makes like clones, mainly of Marshall style heads, and this is one of his. So what was the report on this one? I might just open the shop, champions. I've only got 5 minutes. Oh, I didn't have my mood lighting on in the background. Oh shit. Oh Lord, please give me a quiet day today. I need to get things done. Since when do I talk to the Lord? It's warming up a bit. So that was the other news I was going to tell you, champions. I might have a young bloke starting soon. Young, keen, bloody, can't wait to get his hands on a soldering iron, dude. And I hope he's comfortable with video. Hasn't got much of a choice. Yeah, he's been following us on YouTube and stuff, but he's popped his head around. A lot of kids come in and they're like, give me a job. Can I have a job? And they can't even look you in the eye. It's like, what for? What do you want to do? I don't know. I just want a job. And what they're saying is they just want money. But he came with all the projects, just brought him in. And here I'm fixing this guitar. I'm doing this. I want to try this next. I'm buying, broken things and fixing them and rewiring guitars and stuff. So he brought all the projects he's working on, and I showed him a few pointers and I got a mixer, large mixer donated to me. So it's a modular mixer, so you can pull the channels out one by one. So I'm going to guide him through recapping and restoring the first channel. And then I'll monitor him while he does the other 23. And I think if he makes it through that, and he's still sane at the other end, he'll be a goer. Beth Gibbons. Fuck yeah. So we might have a little young bloke starting here. I think he's 15, 16. Starting here soon. For you to poke fun at. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Apprentice. Yeah, sort of. You could start studying at TAFE if you wanted to. Like I said, it's always a bit of a... there's no exact course for doing this stuff. But yeah, that'd be cool. I think I need someone here because there's way too much work. So, Roller JTM45 copy. Let me just get the job sheet out. That's what I was going to do, wasn't it? Hang on. I don't want to dox the customer, so I'll just go back to my view. Oh, God. Every time I flick through these, I get depressed because there's so many things in the queue. I'm going to be here all night, I think. Try by fire, yep. Throw them in the deep end, mate. See if they swim. Squealing / hum. Okay. General service. So it could just be a valve. Let's just give it a try. 16 ohm. It's got KT88s or 66s or something in there. Is that chassis loose? I think the chassis is loose in the box. Alright, let's fire it up. Oh, they've over tightened the power switch, so it's cracked the plexi. That sucks a bit. I'm going to put that mains cord. Just double check, because sometimes people say it's squealing, but it's just literally feedback through their guitar. It's particularly guys that have only used modelers so far. Pretty corroded fuse. Hard to read. 2.5 amp. Really? Should be like a 1 amp. Alright. Let's just bloody go for it, champions. On 64 watts, 78 watts, 60 watts, 50 watts, 48 watts, 46 watts, and dropping. Okay, well, this here, the fact that all the controls are all the way up, might be a clue that it may be user error. Like, yeah, it shouldn't oscillate at any settings, but everything all the way up. TK, how you going, legend? What's happening? Let's go for it. Bit of a hum. 50. I turned that on. She's only gone up to 62 watts. When you turn it off, 42. So it's only drawing 10 watts per valve. And that's like including the losses and the preamp stuff as well. Alright, we've got microphonics just plugging in there. A lot of hum. A lot of hum on the normal channel. I think we've got a microphonic preamp valve. Oh, I didn't put the mic back in. Fuck, hang on. I can't undo the plug. Let me just mic my cab back up for a second and plug the interface back in. Sorry, champions, I should have done that before I started live streaming. We'll crank this thing up, see what she sounds like. Alright, USB. Motu, unmute. Hello, hello. There we are. Alright. Just bear with me while I get the levels. I'll just mute myself. Alright, so hear that? It's not shorting when we take the plug out. Alright, so normal channel, a lot of hum there. Alright, so very squashy, very farty, very fuzzy, very noisy, microphonics, and a bit of damage to the front panel. Oh, heard some crackling then. Something doing something funny there. I mean, it's drawing fuck all, but still smells hot. So I think driving it that hard might not have any screen grid melting mitigation, is what I'm trying to say. Roller / Union jack amps, Seattle, USA, fixed to 200 watt years back. No, this is a bloke in South Australia, Graham something. Yeah, this isn't. Yeah, it's made in Australia. Manufactured by Roller Australia, 11 Shepherd Court, something Valley, I can't read it, South Australia. So let's crack it open and have a look. I think it can be very much improved. I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with it in terms of squealing. I think that's probably just the microphonic valve. I'd like to see, so these holes in these reproduction, because this would have been an off-the-shelf chassis probably, because you can see the hole around the edge of that nut. These are supposed to be those vintage cliff style ones, you know, ones sort of like that. Well, no, that's the wrong type, but you know what I mean. The ones with the silver dress nut, and they have a shaft that goes in from the inside, like a reverse bushing, I guess, a female bushing. And a male thread on the nut, you know the type. So using the wrong type of nut or wrong type of jack there means that nut's trying to sink into the plexi and sort of causing a bit of damage in that area as a result. And over here, that looks like the main switch has been tightened up too tight. I don't like plexi in general for that reason. You can't really torque anything down without damaging it, and you need like long bushing pots to make it through a 2 or 3 mil chassis plus the 1 or 2 mil or 2 or 3 mil plexi on the front, usually 2 mil. Coromandel Valley, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I've seen Graham's stuff. He sells on eBay. I think he's got an online store as well. He uses things like Teflon wire and conductive plastic pots and stuff, which are really high quality. So I'm hoping for good things opening this. We don't know how many people have had a bite at it over the years either. It doesn't look very new. It looks like it's been around the block a few times. Okay, so we've got chassis screws underneath the feet. I just noticed that there's no screws, chassis mounting screws on the bottom. I thought he might have threaded it from the inside, but removing the feet reveals another screw underneath the feet. Flathead screws. Yeah, I have been curious to see one of his amps. I've seen photos of him because he shows the gut shots on his listings, but seeing one up close, something I haven't done yet. So looking forward to it. Plexiglass plate, face plates make tone. That's right. Oh god, that's tight. Dyed my 50-watt metal panel 1986 bass in the studio once, and got a Russian radio clearly through the control room monitors. Yeah, well that's not good. You need grid stoppers on that, and probably better ground scheme. So I've got to edit the video. I tried to edit the last video for that 2203 last night, and I was literally falling asleep at the computer, so I went to bed. So I'll finish that off today or tomorrow. Oh, gold lion. And we go over the ground scheme improvements and stuff in that, so that's pretty interesting. A lot of that's from Lyle's video on the matter. Alright, chassis loose. But yeah, that was a really quiet 2203 with all those modifications done to the ground scheme. Nothing crazy either, it's just pretty logical stuff. Why is that screw sunk in like... That screw's sunk in like 10 mil below the surface. That's weird. Can I even get this out? That's really close to those valves. I feel like the cabinet should be... I made a cabinet at home for my cranky Karen, and I made it taller than the average JTM 45 cabinet because I wanted a bit more clearance to the valves. And the other thing I did was I put my aluminium flashing on the bottom for shielding, but I put the same aluminium flashing on the top as a heat shield, so the heat from the valves doesn't destroy the Tilex or affect the timber. And that's something I'd suggest doing too. Just reflects the heat and dissipates it evenly across the top of the cabinet, because you don't have the top vents in these like you do with the JCM 800 and beyond. All right, we've got 4 different types of screw. Why wouldn't you just spray the inside of the cabinet black? I don't know. That's what I do, but... Let's get rid of the cab over here. Alrighty then, champions. Ooh, we've got some notes. It's like a, I don't know if it's like a checklist on how it left. 10th of the 1st, 15. Fuck, what were we doing then? That's about when I went full time with Brad's Guitar Garage. You know what? I think that's exactly when I did, because I quit over Christmas. Bias minus 83 volts. What? 61 plus 62 milliamp. This total 51 watts. Well, certainly not doing that now, because there's barely any difference when there's 20 watts difference when we turned it on. And a watt is a watt. 412 volts. The output 21.4 volts into 8 ohms equals 57 watts. At 1% distortion, 19.88 volts into 8 ohms, 49 watts. Sweet as, bro. I don't think any of that's accurate anymore, because I reckon someone's changed those to KT66s. Alright, so she's gotten warm. You can see the old foreskins pulled back on the filter cap there. That's the modulus amplification. Dual 16 microfarad 500 volts. We've got the gold lion. Alrighty, we've got a cap internal. Got backup diodes on the rectifier, good to see. Decent soldering, good to see. A little bit of tack soldering there. You've got an actual pot there for the bias adjustment. So yeah, nothing too bad. Looks like some new old stock components there, like the resistors, a couple of, well, the silver mica there. We've got 470 ohm screen grid resistors, so that's good to see. What are they, Alpha Pots? Oh, that's that other brand. I can't remember what they are, but yeah, so nothing too bad. So we'll oh, hang on. Oh no, that's just the shunt contact. I might clean up some soldering there on the output jacks. Okay, so we've got what looks like a underrated burnt resistor on one of the cathodes to ground there. So I think we'll take a close look at that. I don't think it would have gone open circuit because we would have been able to tell. It did sound pretty weird and crispy though, didn't it? So I'll have a look at that. I want to replace those input jacks. Probably improve the grounding scheme because you heard the hum. Because everywhere down here the wire's pretty wispy. So see this tiny little single strand wire down there? That's the ground. Oh, we're loose. So I'll want to replace them with the vintage style cliff jacks. Drill a hole here and make a ground point there. Remove the grounds off the back of the pots. Improve the ground scheme. Break up the grounds in a few places. Get rid of the grounds on the transformer hardware. Have a dedicated ground for the safety earth. What have we got there? Looks like we've got a. Looks like there might be a thermistor in that heat shrink there, which isn't great because you kind of want them to have airflow. So just trying to track the mains here. Be nice if there was mains color code. Goes to the fuse ring and then to the tip, to the switch, to the transformer. So we'll just change them around so it goes to the fuse tip. The neutral is straight. Okay, so that is compliant other than the order of the connections to the fuse. So yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Room for improvement, but that's always the case. And we'll improve the noise floor on that one, find out which, say it's V1, that's microphonic, but we'll confirm that. See that those valves are performing as they should. In fact, I can check that right now on my tester. Any suggestions on a decent Teflon wire stripper? I just use the these things. Wrong way. I just use them from RS Components. There's the part number. Pause it there. They're fine. If you want to go thermal, you can get thermal strippers for Teflon, but they're pretty expensive. You're talking multiple $1,000s. That's the best case because your chances of damaging the wire are much reduced. If you're careful with those ones, though, you're fine. Just be careful, champions. Like everything in life. Who's down with OPP? Just let them warm up for a sec. Alright, so what else we got in the queue? We've got a Valve State 80V, we've got a Yamaha EMX 512S, we've got a Gallian Kruger 400RB, we've got a David Eden WT800, we've got a Bogner / Line 6 DT25, we've got a Fender Super 210, we've got a PV Mark III bass, we've got a CD series Marshall, I can't see the front panel. We've got another JCM 2000, we've got a Mark bass CMD something or other. We've got a Hughes and Kettner Pure Tone, we've got a Mesa Dual Rectifier, we've got a Rivera, what is that? Rivera Jake Studio Combo. We've got those Tweed amps, which I haven't gotten back to. We've got a Fender Super Bassman 300 watt valve head. We've got another super lead. Yeah, we've got a super lead. Another 2203. We've got a Wizard MC2. We've got a Fender DeVille. Those tweed amps, the Ampeg. Got that Hughes and Kettner from last week, waiting on the parts. Got a Mensa Triaxis. Got a WEM Copycat. We've got some dark glass, solid state stuff. We've got another bloody Quilter pedal that's come in since the last one. We've got something else there in a box. I don't even know what that is. Another Valve State VS100R. Fender Twin. Another PV Mark II bass. And another PV Mark III series bass, although that looks completely different to the other one. We've got 2 JMP ones, which I'm waiting on some transformers for. We've got a drum machine, DTX module, which needs new output jacks. And we've got about 30 guitars, 30 instruments or so. And there's other stuff floating around. I can't see it right now. Holy fuck. Yeah, it is ancient. Right, let's test those valves. Clickety clack, don't smoke crack. 14 millimeter, 23. I feel like I'm calling a race. 45 milliamps, 43 milliamps. Have 450 on the plates, 440 on the screens, minus 50 on the grids. Not a bad match, and they are not shorted. Fan bloody tastic champions. So how long should we stream for today? I don't know. Strangely went for open input jacks. Oh yeah, good point. Well, that's why it's not. That's why it's noisy, because it's not shorting. Lots of work there. You're going to need an offsider soon. Yeah, well, that's what I was saying before. Need someone to do the setup work and just the cleaning of the cabs and stuff. You know, the tricky, or you know, the fiddly but semi-unskilled. I'm saying semi-unskilled. Everything's skilled to a degree. But yeah, the cleaning up, the vacuuming the shop, cleaning the guitars, keeping stuff in tune. And just doing repetitive work, like making those Marshall boards, if anyone ever buys one again, if the trade war gets fucking leveled. Still selling to Europe, Canada, and Australia. Well, everywhere but the US. But the 75% of the orders for those boards were from the States, and now that's ceased completely. Man, it's just a fucking nightmare, man. Every day you wake up and just think, what's fucking going to happen today? My mates in the industry in Canada, some of them have had their businesses pretty much ended overnight. One of my mates he's a reel-to-reel specialist, so he works for studios, most of which are in the States, or 95% of which are in the States, and now it's just not a viable business anymore. One of my other mates makes microphones, specialist microphones, and now, yeah, his business has completely been erased. It's not good. I'm going to have a few of them on, I think. I think it's time to have some interviews with these champions and let them speak their mind on my channel. But yeah, we're still selling elsewhere, so I can train him how to manufacture boards, and if we do make some Amplifier products in the future, I can get him to assemble those PCBs, because I can just check over it all. I mean, if I can get Michelle to do it, I can get him to do it. It means that, you know, if your instructions are clear enough, unskilled labor can take care of the task. Eventually it becomes skilled labor, because I QC everything before it gets tested anyway. So I would come and volunteer to do your shit jobs on a Saturday if I was in Perth. Would love to learn how to do all this stuff. There are some great techs over there. Brendan God, forgotten his name. His name's not Brendan God. Input jacks without lock washers look suspicious. Yeah, they're those real flimsy ones too that you find in like Asian guitars. I just got a sudden craving for a burrito, but it's nowhere near burrito o'clock yet. Damn it. I just realised I've left myself at work with no food. Oh well. Just eat some solder. Anyway, I might piss off, champions, because I've got some paperwork to do, and you don't want to watch me staring at a screen, typing out invoices, do you? But, on that bright note, go and enjoy life as much as you can. And, I'll catch you in the chat on Lyle's live stream tomorrow. And after that, I'll do what we did last week. I'll set my last part of that 2203 video where you can see the finished product. I'll set that to Premiere as soon as his stream finishes. So you can jump over that. I was going to do another live stream tomorrow, but got to have some time for myself, champions. So yeah, I hope the apprentice thing works out too. I'll introduce him when he's when we're good and ready. He can sit down and have a chat and talk about him, you know, how he got interested in it and whatever. And what we might do is follow through the saga of the mixing desk, which you can probably just make out. Oh no, I've got a trolley in the way. It's a Soundcraft 200B, so what used to be a pretty amazing console. And they are still going for pretty big money when they're restored and recapped and whatever. We're going to the Riot tomorrow. I don't know what you're talking about. Riot. Hi, Dunn, by the way. Goddamn right. It's a beautiful day. Uh-huh. So yeah, anyway, take it easy, legends, and I'll catch you tomorrow after, well, on Lyle's live stream and in the chat, and on the chat of the premiere of my video if I manage to get it edited tonight. Nothing else to do, eh? Until then, legends, take it squeezy. Moisturize. I'm getting on the moisturize train. Look, my skin's improved so much. As we get older, blokes, it's not, you know, unmanly to moisturize. If anything, it's manly. The march in Sydney. Hang on, what kind of march in Sydney? March in Sydney. Marathon? Marathon and 3 protests. You're going to have to be more specific. March for Australia. Hang on, is this that racist shit? Organised by white Australians as hateful by federal government. Is this that fucking dog whistling shit though? I don't know. Or is this sovereign citizen bullshit? Like those fucking lunatics. Conspiracy theory fucks. No, I won't be taking part in that march. It sounds a bit about immigration. Okay. I love immigration. You get better food. Get to learn other swear words in other languages. It's great. Anyway, I'm going to piss off, champions. Take it easy on that note, and I'll talk to you sometime in the future.